for Spring Hill High School football.
He's in the slot again to the right. Myers gets the snap. Standing tall in the pocket, going to take the shot down the seam. Klutz is there for a touchdown. Spring Hill. Barker up the middle. Nice jump cut out to the right behind his center, Denver Gardner, who had the middle linebacker tied up. And Barker is in for a 9-yard touchdown.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for Bronco football.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
And good evening, live from historic Hutchinson Field in Pittsburg, Kansas, tonight for the opening round of the Class 4A state playoffs, where the 4-4 Spring Hill Broncos, the number 9 seed in this year's field, take on the number 8 seed, also 4-4, the Pittsburg Purple Dragons. Two teams coming into the postseason going in opposite directions. For the Broncos, they shut out Baldwin last week 31-0, closing out the regular season with back-to-back wins and their first shutout victory since week 2 of last season, just their second shutout win in the last 11 seasons. So now the Broncos, off of back-to-back victories, looking for their first playoff win since 2013. It would be just their 5th ever postseason victory. The opponent is a team that's used to this site, the postseason, the Pittsburg Purple Dragons. They are making their 34th all-time playoff appearance and 6th straight appearance into the postseason. That is tied for 4th most all-time with those 4 playoff appearances. But for the Purple Dragons, they come in on 3 straight losses. Last week at DeSoto, 28-14 the final in that one. The 3rd straight loss for Pittsburgh. The first time the Purple Dragons have lost 3 straight games since they closed the 2013 season with 3 consecutive losses. They haven't lost 4 straight games since 1975, and it's been a decade since they finished a season under 500 when they went 4-5 in 2009. So they're a team going in the wrong direction, but a lot of that has to do with the schedule. They played 3 really good teams to close out the year: DeSoto, Olathe East, and Mill Valley. And Spring Hill certainly got a break in the schedule in their last 2 games. They took advantage, and now they have some positive momentum. So this should be a fun one tonight. 2 teams at 4-4, 2 teams trying to extend their season and move on to the next round, where likely undefeated Tonganoxie awaits. They've got the 16 seed Baldwin tonight in their opening round game, but we'll see who gets the right to move on and face the Chieftains in the second round. It's Spring Hill and Pittsburgh coming up here, the 8-9 matchup on Spring Hill Sports Live at the opening round of the Class 4A state playoffs.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453. Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsurancegroup.com.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back inside the Comfort Designs pregame show, brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs is Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. Learn more at comfortdesigns.net or call 913-592-4453. It's the opening round of the state playoffs here in Class 4A tonight, with the number 9 seed Spring Hill Broncos taking on the number 8 seed, the Pittsburg Purple Dragons, both teams at 4-4. As we take a look at our matchups brought to you by Spring Hill Fitness, the area matchups brought to you by your local community gym. Spring Hill Fitness is dedicated to making a friendly, judgment-free environment open 24/7. Check them out on Facebook or call 913-686-2027. Well, we're just going to take a look here at the quad of the bracket, if you will, that Spring Hill finds themselves in this 4A playoff, heavily influenced by the Frontier League. 5 of the 8 teams in this quad of this bracket are out of the Frontier League. You got number 1 Tonganoxie against Baldwin tonight. Winner of that game faces the winner of this game. And 4A perennial power Bishop Miege, who's the 4 seed in the East. They're they're hosting Labette County tonight in that one. And the other matchup in that opening round game that will match up with the winner of that one will be Bonner Springs and Eudora, so 2 more Frontier League teams going at it right there. So if Spring Hill is able to make a run through this postseason, they are going to see some familiar faces, including this first-round opponent who they lost to last year in the opening round of the playoffs. That was a 37-15 loss down here in Pittsburg a season ago. We'll talk more about that game and tonight's game with Jason Feedback coming up next here on the pregame show. But that's what the playoffs look like in this part of the bracket. And we'll give you an update here from the state volleyball tournament as well. Unfortunately, it's a sad update for Spring Hill Bronco volleyball fans as the state tournament began today in Salina. The girls opened up their first match against St. Thomas Aquinas. They lost that one in 2 sets, 25-19, 25-16. Spring Hill bounced back to win the second game against Wichita Bishop Carroll, 25-20, 25-21. And then they ran up in their final matchup of pool play against St. James Academy, who's played in, since the state championships began, every one of them. Not quite that much, but it's been a majority of, I forget how many in a row they've won now. I think it's just 2 in a row, but they've played in, 6 or 7 in a row. Anyway, Spring Hill lost that one 25-16, 25-13, unfortunately. So 1-2 day in pool play, which will end the season for the Spring Hill volleyball team. A tremendous season. I don't have the official stat to say it's the best season in school history record-wise, but it's certainly got to be close at 38-4, the final record for Spring Hill. Their first state tournament trip since 1985. They won their first league title since 1983. So all-around great effort from Coach Book and her squad, who only had 1 senior, Caitlin Rexroth, and the rest of that team all back for next year. So they are going to be a force to be reckoned with again next season. Those are your matchups brought to you by Spring Hill Fitness. Coming up next on the Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning pregame show, we'll chat with the head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos, Jason Feedback. It's coming up here as we're in Pittsburg tonight for the first round of the 4A playoffs. Spring Hill and Pittsburg here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508 2022.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to the Comfort Designs pregame show. Joining us now is Spring Hill head football coach Jason Feeback. And Coach, it's win or go home time now in Kansas high school football this week. How much are you and the guys looking forward to the opportunity to take the field yet again this week?
Yeah, playoffs are always exciting, man. Crazy things can happen. You just hope with the weather changes and all that, keep kids focused and keep them hungry. Shorten up practice a little bit this week, kind of just focus on a lot of team and group work. Had some competitions, third down, fourth and goal line stand, all that stuff. But no, we had a good week. Again, this is a great practice group. They love to compete. And, we're going to have our hands full with Pittsburgh, but it should be a really fun game.
Of course, you got the win last week over Baldwin. That gives you 2 in a row now in the win column as you head into the postseason. Do you like where your team's at as you hit this juncture of the season right now?
I do. It's always good to win. Winning changes a lot of things. Gets everybody's bouncing around, a little pep in their step. Reminds you what you're working for. But to come into the playoffs riding a 2-game winning streak is always good. You just hope you're peaking at the right time. Kind of get some things figured out. We got some sophomores out that have been playing a lot this year, so they're kind of starting to play like juniors, and your seniors are maybe kind of see that the end might be coming up, so they're a little more aware and getting a little more fight with that. So playoffs are exciting, man. I love this time of year.
What are some of the things you guys have focused on this week in practice to kind of keep that positive trajectory moving forward and getting better every week?
Yeah, you get in. We've been going 11, 12 weeks now, plus all the summer. So we kind of dial it back a little bit on practice time. We've cut it back to, we're going about an hour and a half, and just trying to get a lot of teamwork in, doing more group work, handling how we're going to line up, what we can attack offensively. And just trying, again, to keep that edge with competition, with everything we're trying to do, but making sure we really understand why we're doing what we're trying to do. And Pittsburgh, they'll line up in trips, shotgun, but then they'll go double tight, 2 backs. And so there's a lot. I mean, it's almost a completely different offense when you're kind of looking at things. So a lot to go over there, lots of different looks. You got to get your guys, making sure everybody's dialing in, all the checks and all that defensively. Offensively, they've shown a 3-man front and a 4-man front. So trying to get a lot of reps during your team time and group time with that, just to get you guys used to, hey, you might see this, you might see this. Here's where they're really good.
Well, there is somewhat of some familiarity with Pittsburgh. Of course, you played them this time a year ago in the opening round of the playoffs. And I know, personnel's changed on both sides. They've got some different players in different spots, you as well. But do you feel like when it comes to prepping for all of that, do you feel like you have at least a bit of a building block to start with because of that familiarity?
That's a good question. I feel like we had a good game plan last year going in, but we were kind of outmatched. They had 2 guys that are now on D1. One's at KU, one's at TCU. So you're looking at playing a couple really good caliber athletes. Another one's at Pitt State. Was a wide receiver, and he was a borderline D1, 1AA kind of guy. So they've lost those guys, but Pittsburgh has such a tradition of being good, and their coaches do such a great job of getting their guys ready to play that you kind of know what you're going to get, but you also they'll have a few trick plays that they'll try. So you just got to be on your toes. So I would say yes and no. We know how we want to line up. We kind of know what they want to do when they get in this formation. But then there's that other part of are you able to match up with their guys man for man?
We've talked about how you guys are coming in having won back-to-back games entering the postseason. For Pittsburgh, now they've lost 3 in a row as they enter this time in this postseason play, and I'm not sure how many games you've been able to go back through and watch of their 8 they've played so far, but are there any apparent factors that show in their play causing them to go from what was their 4-1 start to now 0-3 the last several weeks?
Well, you look at their losses, they played Olathe East, who's a 6A that's pretty good, and they played DeSoto, which we saw them, and they're pretty good also. So, I mean, some of that's the opponent. I wouldn't say that necessarily they're doing anything to lose football games, but I do think they ran into some really good opponents there that were better than them on that. So, from what we can see on the films that we have, they're a solid ball club. They're going to come out ready to play. They're going to come out doing a lot of things right. So, now I can't really tell you like, oh no, they're just playing terrible now, and we're lucky to get them. They're not. They're playing some really good teams.
Yeah, it should be a fun ball game. What's been the motto for the week for the guys?
We talked about just play ball, and we had a few personal foul penalties, which we don't want to be about that. Handling your emotions in the right way, playing with passion, not emotion. Passion has purpose. Emotion will get you out of control. And so we have a purpose in our trip to Pittsburgh. We want to come out of there with the W. When we hit the field, we got a purpose, and we want to play with a lot of passion. Not letting the emotions of in the playoffs, you lose, you're done. Not letting those emotions get in the way. Somebody says something, somebody hits you or whatever. It happens. It's football. You're wearing pads anyway. But making sure you're handling that and playing with all the passion you can and purpose, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the brotherhood.
All right, Coach, I'm going to let you out of here with a final thought on this game then, is kind of piggybacking on what you just talked about from a matchup standpoint and the X's and O's and everything that goes into it. When it's all said and done, what do you feel like needs to happen for you guys to get this win and keep your season going?
I think their strength defensively is their defensive line. They do a really nice job, and they play some games up front with their guys. We got to neutralize that with our offensive line. And then we got to make sure that their quarterback can run. They got a 6'6" wide receiver who can fly. He can get up and get the ball. So just, again, defensively, we got to line up right. We got to know exactly what we're doing, and then we just got to go play football like our hair's on fire. And if you play hard, that covers up for a lot of things that you might lack. But offensively, we just got to execute. We had a really balanced attack last week. Continue to build on that. Obviously, you got to go run the football. So making sure we can establish a run game and everything else kind of opens up from there. That's the head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos, Jason Feedback. Coach, we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us again, and best of luck. Thank you. Go Broncos. Coming up next on the Comfort Designs pregame shows, tonight's starting lineups and your keys to the game on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business, with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back into the Comfort Designs pregame show here on Spring Hill Sports Live. We're going to get you those keys to the game of the starters, but of course we timed it right back for the national anthems. We'll be right back after this.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NAIT certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local farmer's insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back live into the Comfort Designs pregame show here on Spring Hill Sports Live, along with BJ Harris and Caden Carbajo. I'm Bryce Kessler as we're getting set for this first-round playoff matchup here tonight between the number 9 seed Spring Hill Broncos and the 8 seed Pittsburg Purple Dragons. It's time for our keys to the game. They're brought to you by Crown Realty. Let Crown Realty help you get the keys to your dream home. And check out all of their listings at crownrealty.com. And if you're in the market to sell your home, remember the key is a great agent, and that's what you'll find at Crown Realty in Spring Hill. Call 913-592-2222. All right, so it's opening round, postseason time. We heard Jason Feedback kind of break down some of those keys he's looking at in this ballgame tonight. BJ, I know you are familiar with the program down here in Pittsburgh, having grown up here in Purple Dragon country, and familiar with Tom Nicholson, the head coach of this Pittsburgh team. So you've had a chance to really see both these teams this year and kind of have a good feel for what both these teams like to do. So I'll go to you right here for some keys to this matchup.
Yeah, technically I'm a Gerard Trojan. First, I want to make sure that gets corrected. But
I said in Purple Dragon country.
Exactly. Most recently, I did live here in Pittsburgh. I was on the school board here in Pittsburgh up until a couple of years ago as well. And so, yeah, I know this program pretty well. And I think, you couldn't get a better 8-9 matchup. These two teams, these two programs are pretty similar. Pittsburgh has some historical tradition. Spring Hill's trying to grow it under Jason Feedback. But I think a lot of times these first-round matchups, certainly here in these two seeds, 8-9, when you're both 4-4, you kind of throw a little bit of the X's and O's out because I think both teams are going to know what they need to do to be successful, and it kind of boils down to emotions. I think who can control that a little bit early on. Certainly Spring Hill making the trip up here, can they control those emotions? And for those guys who played a year ago, who came down here and got drubbed a little bit, can you shake that out of your mind and make this a new year? Talking to Tom Nicholson, the head coach of Pittsburgh High, he thinks this is a better Spring Hill team than they saw a year ago. I don't think this is as good a Pittsburgh High team as they saw a year ago. So I think these two teams are going to be pretty evenly matched, sitting right here as 8 and 9 seeds. I don't think any seed ahead of them would want to be playing these two teams right now because I think at any given night, these two teams can beat a team above them. So I think we're in for a really good matchup. I'm excited to see how they come out. And from a head coaching standpoint, two of the best guys coaching high school football in the Midwest right now in Jason Feedback and Tom Nicholson.
A couple of the things that Coach Feedback talked about he wanted to see from his guys. One, establishing the run early in this game, and we're going to get to see both Dylan Lazenby and Zaid Barker. It was you never want to see your starting running back go down with an injury, as Spring Hill did with Zaid Barker at the end of that Tonganoxie game. But what it did is it allowed a sophomore and Dylan Lazenby to enter the lineup, and all he's done the last 2 weeks, he's run for 185 yards on 34 carries and a touchdown, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. So now they've got kind of two guys that they can use back there and keep Zaid a little fresher, and he's expecting to get some out of Barker in this game, even though he's still kind of battling with that ankle injury a little bit, that high ankle sprain. He's still going to use them, and especially in those key situations, whether it be a third down and short that they need a couple of yards, look for Barker in those. Look for Barker in the red zone, but expect to get a lot from Lazenby as well. He really wants to establish the running game because, that helps open up the passing game, which they're going to have as well.
Yeah, from the defensive side of the ball for Spring Hill is get after the quarterback a little bit for the Purple Dragons. Cooper Hayden's going to be a really good quarterback for Pittsburg High. Just not yet as a sophomore. He's going to be darn good. He's one of those types of kids who will grow up as this program grows as well. But you can get after him, I think, a little bit here tonight. And if you can do that, put it all on the running back, just put it all on row arc. If this defense can kind of contain that, they'll have a real good chance to put their offense in a position to do what you just described.
Hayden completing 54% of his passes this year, but has thrown 8 interceptions. So there can be some turnovers to be had for this Spring Hill defense, and they've been pretty good this year in the turnover margin. That's something that every coach every week wants to win, is the turnover margin. And this year, Spring Hill a +7, Pittsburgh just a +1 in the turnover margin. They've given it away 13 times this year in their previous 8 games. So look to capitalize that as well. And then another thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on here, BJ, is possibility of some trick play spots in this one, because Coach Feedback said, and I don't know whether it's a gut feeling, whether he just feels like he's seen enough on film, but he feels like that Coach Nicholson will throw in a few of those gadget plays when the time is right, and he doesn't want his guys getting caught sleeping when those do happen.
Yeah, he's an offensive-minded guy, Tom Nicholson is. He does some neat stuff. He does the basics, which is key. I mean, as far as read and run the option and those types of things as well, but he's an offensive-minded guy. He likes to do some of those things, and if they get behind, certainly that's when you got to watch out for those types of things. But it's playoff time. You don't win tonight, you're done. You go on to winter sports, and so at any point you can pull the trick out of the bag and see what happens. That's where I think some of the experience, Spring Hill's got some experience on their team. Hopefully they don't get caught being a little too aggressive to get bit into one of those situations.
Your starting lineups are brought to you by Perfect Detail on at 516 North Webster in Spring Hill. The Broncos will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at Perfect Detail Salon, where they're devoted to making clients flawless from head to toe. Make an appointment online at salonperfectdetails.com or by calling 913-592-5022. Corbin Myers, the starting quarterback for the Broncos. The senior has thrown for 527 yards this year with 6 touchdowns. His back is Dylan Lazenby. The wideouts, Zach Knowlton, their top receiver. Daniel Mitchell, Evan Letillier, and the tight end is Gage Klutz. Up front, Aaron Dominic, J.B. Watkins, Denver Gardner, Wyatt George, and Tanner Thompson. The defense they're going up against for this Pittsburgh High team, L.J. Butcher, one of the starting corners. On the other corner in the secondary is Dennis Hikus. The safeties are Brody Ark and Brandon Petty. The inside linebackers, Ethan Weidert and Grant Rolfs. The outside backers are Sam Roark and Donovan Nelson. Roark, the leading tackler on this team. And on the defensive line, Aaron Woods and Shea Munkin at the defensive ends. And Sam Herring is the defensive tackle. We're back for kickoff right after this. You've been watching the Comfort Designs pregame show on Spring Hill Sports Live.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Live look as the coin toss is finishing up here at Hutchinson Field in Pittsburg, Kansas. As the coin toss you see won by the number 9 seed Spring Hill Broncos. They'll defer their decision to the second half, and that means Pittsburg will get the first crack at it with their offense as we get set for this opening round matchup in the Class 4A playoffs. Kickoff time is brought to you by Spring Hill Recreation Commission. With fall sports in full swing, the Spring Hill Rec Commission has turned their sights to basketball season. Registration is now open until November 15th for youth basketball in Spring Hill. Register online at springhillrec.org or by calling 913-592-2214. Spring Hill, the 9 seed at 4-4. Pittsburg, the 8 seed at 4-4. And this should be a great matchup here tonight, a rematch of last year's opening round game of the 4A playoffs. That was won by Pittsburg 37-15. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead in the opening quarter, expanded that lead to 24-3 by halftime, and it was then 37-3 Pittsburg early in the fourth quarter before a couple of late touchdowns from Spring Hill. In that game, Pittsburg ran for 245 yards and they threw for 3 touchdowns, while Spring Hill was held to just 222 yards of total offense last year in that opening round loss. So you referenced that, BJ, in the opening or the keys to the game last segment, that hopefully that isn't sticking around. They've been able to move past that one. Coach Feedback feels like his guys were able to. It feels like, as you kind of said, they've got a better team coming in. They feel like Pittsburgh maybe had to take a couple of steps back. They got a lot of youth, so this is a confident bunch. Despite having a little midseason struggle where they ran into a juggernaut of 3 consecutive undefeated teams, back-to-back wins, has Spring Hill feeling pretty good tonight.
Yeah, that team from Pittsburgh last year sent a kid to TCU, a kid to KU, a kid at Pittsburg State. I mean, they had college players all over the field, so they were pretty good, and I do think Spring Hill's improved from a year ago. So I think this is a perfect matchup for tonight to start. We saw a lot of lopsided games last night in Kansas. We're going to see a lot of lopsided games tonight. This will not be one of them, I don't believe.
Bear Gardner has it teed up, and we are underway from Hutchinson Field here in the opening round of the 4A playoffs. As this kick is fielded just in the 10-yard line and brought back short of the 25. They're going to whistle him down. The return man hopped right back up, though, as Malachi Gatewood was looking for a big return, but they cut him down at the 24-yard line, and that is where the Pittsburgh offense, led by a sophomore quarterback, Cooper Hayden, will take over. He's got an offensive line left to right of Blake Harrison, Jesse Stover, Matt Cicero, Sam Herring, and Logan Kunkler. His running back is Sam Roark. In front of him, the fullback Donovan Nelson, L.J. Butcher, and Hayden McCoy. Actually, Dennis Heikus is getting the start out there as the wide receiver split out to the right, and it's Roark who runs it off guard to the right side and falls forward out across the 32-yard line. Tackle made by the safety Hunter Williard for Spring Hill, and that moves it out to the 32-yard line as they pick up a solid 8 yards on first down out of Roark, and expect to see a lot of number 7 in purple, Sam Roark. He is their leading rusher this year at 471 yards. Hasn't had a touchdown since week 4 of the season. He again dots the I as Hayden takes the snap and hands to him again off right guard. Stovall got him around the ankles and forces him down out to around the 37-yard line, but that'll be plenty to move the chains.
Good push up front. Good stop initially for Spring Hill, but that second effort was able to give him the first down and get a few extra yards.
6'2", 200-pound senior, big, strong kid. Roark is not going to go down easy.
Wrestler as well, so he's got that balance that helps him out.
Stay the eye. Tight end attached to the right side as Roark gets it a third straight carry and again bowls over the defender as Williard, the safety, comes in to make another tackle with some help from Dom Shearer. They're going to mark it at the 44-yard line, another 7 yards. So that's 19 yards on 3 carries as you're seeing a lot of Roark early.
Yeah, I mean, if your safety's making the tackle on straight dive, that means things are getting blocked up front. And so you got to make sure you do that as linebackers. You don't get blocked, and that starts up front with those D linemen.
Williard, who has made 2 of the 3 plays defensively now, he had 11 tackles in his first game since week 4 last week. And this time it's the defensive line who gets a hold of him as Logan Greenhall, the senior defensive tackle, able to get Roark around the legs, and a whole host of white jerseys come to help him out. Stovall and Dickey and Williard in there as they stuff that one for a no gain.
Yeah, talking to Coach Nicholson from Pittsburg High, he mentioned Greenhall. He said that's 47 in the middle. We've got to keep an eye on him. He kind of makes him go from that D-line spot. You can do a lot of damage from the nose because offensive lines can't key on you because you're right in the middle of the line. And that right there was a really nice play on that dive.
First third down of the game as they spread it out and go shotgun for Pittsburgh on a 3rd down and 3 for their own 44-yard line. Hayden fakes to Roark and then throws over the middle where it's through the hands and incomplete, nearly coming up with an interception sheer, but it falls to the turf as that one went through the hands of Tyler Sutton and falls incomplete, and a 4th down coming up on the opening drive for Pittsburgh.
That's huge to get a stop right off the bat for Spring Hill to come out, and you gave up the first down. They were gashing you a little bit to run, and then you make a stop on 3rd down to make them throw that ball, and nice stop.
So Pittsburgh in punt formation, but they're in a 4th and 3 from their own 44, the area of the field where you can do some funky things, but they'll go ahead and punt it away as this punt angles to the far sideline and rolls down the hashes near the 20-yard line where it's down by Gatewood. There is a penalty flag on the far side of the field at the line of scrimmage. It was a 4th down and 3. If they're talking with Jason Feeback, the Spring Hill head coach, so it would appear it's a penalty against Pittsburgh.
They may have the option to back them up, kick it again, or tack it on to the end of this play.
And they're moving back. The ref is coming back. Maybe that they're going to move it back and repunt. The ball was down at the 21-yard line. Although the Spring Hill offense now taking the field, so that would tell you that they're not going to have them re-kick. Officials still huddled up, as you can see there.
Inside try. This is some inside stuff from coming back to my stomping grounds. This white hat once kicked me out of a flag football game.
What did you do to get kicked out of a flag football game?
I was arguing breaking the plane. I said he didn't break the plane. I'm 7, 8 years old. They said it did not break the plane, and he said it did. And he told my dad, he goes, Brian, you need to have him go sit down for a little while. So Michael Plotnick, really good official. He's officiated some big games. This crew does college games. This is a good crew. Guys I've known for a long, long time.
An illegal formation is the call against Pittsburgh, and the penalty will be declined by Spring Hill. I think the only choice they had was to have them either take the 5 and re-kick or decline it. I don't think they could add it on to the end. Maybe that was where the long conversation was going. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Spring Hill on their own 21-yard line. The defense got them a stop. Now let's see if this offense can go to work early. As Corbin Myers has Dylan Lazenby behind him, and it's the sophomore Lazenby that gets the 1st down carry right into the teeth of that Pittsburgh defensive front as Lazenby picks up just a few yards there before starting defensive tackle Sam Herring makes the stop for Pittsburgh. It's a 2-yard gain to bring up 2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line.
That D-line is going to be a hard one for Spring Hill. If they can win that battle at the line of scrimmage, they're going to have themselves a real good opportunity. This O-line is just kind of developed and developed. They were green to start the season. They're getting a lot better.
2nd down, 8 yards to go as Lazenby flip-flops back and forth, and now Myers to throw. The out route is off the fingertips of Zach Knowlton, who's coming off of a huge game last week for the Broncos. He caught 8 balls for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran it 5 times for another 26 and another score. So a huge game last week from the sophomore Zach Knowlton, but that one just off his fingertips, and it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, he just kind of jumped off the page to start the season. That Lewisburg game, a sophomore, first game out, what's he going to do? Boy, he made his name known right off the bat, and he's been a weapon all year.
He's in the slot to the right as they have 3 receivers that way. Myers swings it out to Lazenby. That may have been a backwards pass. It rolls out of bounds. They are going to rule it backwards, so that's a lateral that goes out at the 18-yard line. They'll lose 5 yards on the play. And the 4th down and 13 coming up, so Logan Greenhall and the punting team will take the field.
Well, not ideal offensively, but both teams kind of feeling each other out a little bit, not doing anything too crazy. Obviously, Pittsburgh High going more straight run off the bat, but that offense that Spring Hill comes out with, pretty typical of them as well. Now you just got to execute on special teams.
So Greenhall standing back inside of his own 5. For the season, the senior punter averaging just shy of 40 yards per punt. That is a high snap, but Greenhall able to go up and get it and gets a pretty good boot away. Bounces at midfield, takes a Broncos hop down about the 43-yard line. Gage Klutz downs it there. They're going to mark it at the 43. So Pittsburgh's offense back to the field for the second time with 8:32 left in this opening quarter as a possession each. Both have been stopped on the first third down they face, so we'll see what the second drive has in store here for Pittsburgh High.
One thing about coming down here is you get a chance to see somebody you haven't seen all season long. They've got one common opponent is DeSoto. They both played okay against DeSoto. Pittsburgh High feels like they let one slip away, but you kind of got to feel each other out in the early going of a game like this.
Well, when Spring Hill played DeSoto, as Sam Roark again on the carry, and that is the type of gang tackling that Jason Feedback wants to see out of his guys tonight as they shut down Roark, still for a 3-yard gain, but they piled on top to make sure he didn't break free that time. But to finish the thought there, Jason Feedback said that he thought when they played DeSoto that had they had their starting quarterback, Corbin Myers, who was hurt 2 weeks prior and was still out of the lineup, he thinks they win that game against DeSoto. They lost 14-0, but played probably their best defensive game of the year when you account for the opponent and everything and how they played, and just couldn't get the offense going in that one. Second down, 7 yards to go from just across the 45 for the Pittsburgh offense. Hayden out of the pistol, pulls it away. No, actually did give it to Roark, and that's Stovall and Dickey, the two middle linebackers who are the top two tacklers on this team. Jackson Rounds on in there to make that tackle as well for the Spring Hill defense. They'll mark it at the 48-yard line for a 3-yard run, and it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Purple Dragons.
Yeah, against an option or a read option, zone read type stuff that Pittsburgh High does, you just have to be so disciplined to be able to stay in your gap, maintain your outside contain, and do the things you need to do from a discipline. You can't be too aggressive. You can't be the guy who wants to be a hero. Do your job, keep things in front of you, and you'll make them earn it a little bit.
3rd down, 5 yards to go. Hayden throws over the head of his 6'5 wideout, Hayden McCoy, and that one had no chance even for the 6'5 McCoy with Zach Knowlton in coverage, so it's a 3 and out. Despite the good field position, as the Purple Dragons unable to take advantage, and Pittsburgh will send the punt team back out onto the field with 7:02 left in the opening quarter, and still a scoreless ball game. The punter is Braden Benson. Dom Shearer, the deep man for Spring Hill. Good snap back to Benson. Low kick wobbling over towards the far sideline, and this will go out inside the 15, right at the 11-yard line. So right now, early on, field position between these two teams certainly being controlled by Pittsburgh, as this will push the starting offense for Spring Hill back to the 11-yard line. You'd sure like to see, at the very least, the offense pick up a couple of first downs to kind of get this field position flipped in your favor.
Yeah, if it turns into one of those slugfests, it's weird. Football is a strange sport where you wouldn't think right now that this early on something could be dictating the kind of the terms of the game, but changing the field position, even here in the first quarter on this particular drive, could go a long way to what your ultimate goal you want to be.
So they'll start with the tight formation. Lazenby again the back to start this possession. Knowlton, the motion man, gets the toss from Myers. Has some blockers out in front of him, but a good play for Pittsburgh to split through those blockers and make the tackle, as that is Whitert, their senior linebacker, Ethan Whitert, on the tackle. A gain of 2 to the 13 for Knowlton. It'll be 2nd and 8.
It's not consolation when you just get a 1-yard gain on something looked at open, but the fact that it kind of developed and it started to look like was going to be a real good positive play is something to kind of keep in your mind. If you're one of the coaches up here, you're looking at that and go, okay, it was here. If we can seal that guy on the backside, we're going to have a little bit better chance, because Whitert was coming from away from the ball. He was not play side, and that could be a play to look at down the road a little bit.
2nd down and 8 as we near the midway point of this opening quarter. Second possession for Spring Hill. Myers to throw on 2nd and 8. Batted it out at the line of scrimmage. Able to get a hand up and knock that pass down with Shea Munkin. He wanted Letillier on the curl on that outside receiver, but Munkin made sure it didn't get there. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 8 from the 13-yard line.
Shea Munkin, all 5'9" of him, sticking his paw up there and knocking that down. Got to put a little air underneath that ball to get it over the shortest dude on the field right now.
Munkin's a guy who's still an impactful defensive player. He was an impactful offensive player for him as well through most of the season, but battling through some injury, as a lot of guys are this time of year. They've got him primarily just on the defensive side, and he makes an impact play there. So 3rd down and 8. Myers claps the hands and runs the draw in the hands of Barker, who gets his first touch of the game, and Zaid Takes it just short of the 20-yard line, mark it at the 19. 6-yard run on a 3rd down and 8, but they will be a couple short, so 4th down and 2 coming up.
Yeah, and Zaid, he's not 100%. He just walking and run off the field doesn't look comfortable with that foot or ankle, and he just seems a little ginger. And I'm telling you what, a senior, by the time you're in your senior year of high school football, you're like a 40-year-old man. And I know that because I'm almost a 40-year-old man.
Yeah, but he wants to be out there so bad for his team. That's why they're going to get him as many carries as he can be able to stomach. L.J. Butcher on the punt return, and he is brought down in Spring Hill territory, rounds on and downs, as Cody Powell was also there leading the way to make the initial contact on Butcher. But again, great field position here for Pittsburgh. They weren't able to do anything with it last time. They went 3 and out, but now they'll start in plus territory at the 46 of Spring Hill.
Yeah, you just start to put so much pressure on your defense when you don't have very good field position. You just got to work that much harder here.
5:24 left, opening quarter. 3rd possession for Pittsburgh. Motion man gets it on the jet sweep, able to turn up the field inside the 40. Downs stands him up short of the 1st down, but Caden Barber picks up a healthy 8 or 9 yards on 1st down. They'll give him 8, 2nd down and 2 coming up for Pittsburgh.
Kind of bring a lot of guys at you in the backfield. We've seen several guys already touch the football, and there's Barber getting his shot at it.
Yeah, they are not shy about spreading the wealth. I had a hard time fitting everybody on the spotting board who's had meaningful carries this year. They've got 5 guys, or 6, 7, 8 guys who have at least 30 carries this year. That is really unheard of. You don't see that much spreading of the offense very often. On a 2nd down and 2, they want to take a shot, and Hayden in trouble in the backfield, and Carson Downs pulling him down from behind for the sack as Spring Hill comes up with a big play with Pittsburgh going to the air on a 2nd and 2, trying to take advantage of a run situation, catch them off guard, but they weren't caught off guard.
Yeah, good coverage downfield as well. They ran the tight end out of there, Aaron Woods, big, long body, good-looking dude at 6'3", 215, but wasn't able to kind of get down the field faster than the pressure was to get to Hayden.
So now 3rd down and 6 for Pittsburgh, as that one pushes what they were hoping was going to be a 3rd and short, worst-case scenario, to now 3rd and 6. Let's see if they can convert for the first time, though. 0 for 2 on 3rd downs to this point. Hayden out of the shotgun, wants to throw. This time has time. Now he'll escape the pocket, being pressured by Stovall. Off-balance throw across his body and dropped by Williard. Had a chance for the interception as he puts his hands onto his face mask. He missed a chance, but they'll take the stop anyway, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, that's the pass of a sophomore quarterback, because in 2 years he'll throw that out of bounds right off the bat, but tried to force it in there, and Spring Hill nearly got a gift. Could have taken advantage of it. They would have much better field position than they're probably going to end up with, but still to get another stop and turn them over 3 and out, that's good by the Bronco defense. Now got to get the offense going.
A possession that started on the Spring Hill 46 and doesn't net a single 1st down. That is a big win for this Spring Hill defense, as Benson is sent to punt it for a 3rd time in the game. Low punt, and Shear won't have another chance to return. Can they down this one inside the 5? They are going to be able to, as that one checks up perfectly for Benson. Beautiful punt by Braden Benson, and that one will be marked at the 2-yard line. Wow.
Well, now you just got to make sure you guard against a mistake. You can't have a big catastrophic mistake with your back against the goal line.
So Pittsburgh, they're feeling probably offensively like they've missed some opportunities with the field position, but man, the defense has a chance to really change things with this starting field position from the 2-yard line for Corbin Myers and the Bronco offense. Lazenby stands to his right. They're going to throw out of the end zone. Klutz drops it. The tight end was right at the goal line. He might have been better off just dropping that pass because they had the defense on top of him as soon as he caught it. Roark was right there, and even if he caught that one, he probably was going to lose a yard.
Oh, that's gutsy. That was a gutsy play call down by the goal line like that. And all the times you'll just kind of try to grind it out. That tells me one thing. They're not overly confident in their ability to run between the tackles right now, Spring Hill. Because at this point in the football field, you just run it to try to get yourself a little bit of breathing room instead of coming out a little spot pass.
So now 2nd down and 10 from the 2-yard line. This is Lazenby straight up the middle, but there is no chance for Dylan Lazenby that time. He was wrapped up by Woods as soon as he met the line of scrimmage, and the defensive end able to make that tackle for a no gain. So third down now coming up at the 2-yard line.
Now, sometimes you'll call a play on first down, anticipating what that third down play might be. And this might be a good opportunity to kind of combo it is where that spot pass you spin. If you do a double move, you might be able to get a little separation here because you're passing it right now from your own goal line or from your own end zone here trying to get some separation.
They've got them bunched up on the right side of the receivers. Letillier, the lone man to the far side, and there's going to get him 5. Yeah, that will certainly help. If anything, now at least you're more comfortable with your quarterback throwing the football as you now have a third down and 5 from the 7-yard line. You've got a little breathing room to where if things don't go well for Myers, he doesn't have to take a sack of the end zone.
That's the things you can do with the senior quarterback and some experience up front is kind of go hard count in that situation. You don't have a lot to lose because if you jump offside, you're going to go like half a yard back.
Right.
So might as well give it a shot.
So let's see what it opens up for him on a third down and 5 now at the 7-yard line. Myers wants to throw, and that pass intended for Mitchell over his head as Hikus was standing his ground, and there was nothing there. They wanted that quick hitch to Mitchell, but instead they'll have to punt it out of their own end zone on a 4th down and 5. So both teams now 0 for 3 on third downs in this game. The whole game has been played on this half of the field on the Spring Hill minus for them, the plus territory for Pittsburgh with 2:20 left in the quarter. And Greenhall is standing back in his own end zone. Last snap was high. Don't want a bad snap here, and they get a good one as Greenhall boots it away. It bounces at the 37. It just stays right there as Cody Powell downs it. That one didn't get any hop for Greenhall. So once again, great field position. In fact, the best field position of what's been 3 of 4 possessions, really good field position for Pittsburgh. They'll start at the 38 of Spring Hill.
Yeah, but that Spring Hill defense has held their own in the early going of this one so far. Quick moving first quarter, and they've been able to avoid these bad field position, have your back against the wall a little bit, and we'll see if that can continue.
Sam Roark, he's the tailback of this Pittsburgh offense who has been their most successful so far. Play clock down at 6. Some late subs coming onto the field for Pittsburgh, and now they're going to have to take that timeout as the play clock was down to 1. So timeout charge to Pittsburgh with 2:13 left in this opening quarter. It gives us a chance to look back at last week's ball game and our shot of the game brought to you by Jessica Wilm Photography in Spring Hill, specializing in high school seniors, family, and sports photography. You can find Jessica Wilm Photography on Facebook or call 402-314-0347. And this shot of Zach Knowlton taken by Jessica last week, outrunning a Baldwin defender into the end zone, one of 3 touchdowns that Knowlton had last week in a huge game in that victory over Baldwin. Only a sophomore. You're going to see a lot more out of Zach Knowlton over the next couple of years, and he's already been the target on a couple of plays in this ball game. But offensively, it has been nothing so far for Spring Hill. They don't have a first down yet with 2:13 left in this quarter. The defense trying to hold up again, though. First down and 10 from the 38-yard line for Pittsburgh. Toss it to Roark. Picks his way through the line to the 36-yard line. And Downs and Dickey team up to make the tackle for Spring Hill. Short gain from Roark of 2 yards. Will make it second down and 8 at the 36-yard line.
Well, Chase Wilm also coming down from that DN spot on this play side here, or on the back side. He comes down the line of scrimmage and makes a nice play for Spring Hill to get in on that tackle.
Trying to continue to be playing with their back against their own goal line wall, if you will, and so far it's been successful for them. Cooper Hayden and this Pittsburgh offense trying to break through. Second down and 8 on the plus 36 for the Purple Dragons. Pass comes in low and behind Butcher as Hayden had to get rid of it with pressure coming in on him. Rounds on and Downs both applying some pressure to force the quick throw behind at the feet of Butcher. So third down and 8 now.
And being physical about things up front. That's the best part so far for Spring Hill. They're getting after them a little bit. You know, I'm a guy who played football. I walk in here right now, and if I walk down on the field, other than Greenhall, who is just stocky as all get out over the ball, you look at these DNs and go, they're kind of skinny, kind of light. But, man, that first time you think they're kind of skinny, kind of light, and then they pop you, you're like, oh, game on. And that's kind of what they've done so far to set the tone defensively for Spring Hill.
Big play here, 3rd down and 8 from the 36 as Hayden rolls and sets up on his left. Deep shot for Heikes, who had a step on Shear, but it falls incomplete as Dom Shear was able to recover just enough. The pass perhaps slightly underthrown by a couple of yards as Heikes had to kind of hold up, but they had a chance there. Heikes, who leads the team in both receptions and yards, thanks to his huge game last week, caught 6 balls for 203 yards and a touchdown against DeSoto.
He's only got one hand.
And that was nearly a big play for Pittsburgh, but instead the punt team's back on the field.
A good coverage. Actually, it looked like it was going to be really bad coverage and nice closing speed to get in there and swap that one away. And Heikes get those numbers with one paw. Ooh.
Benson's punt this time is going to sail into the end zone. So if anything, you're finally thinking, hey, thanks, 20-yard line, we'll take it. Last two have started at the 11 and the 2, so the 20 feels like he got all kinds of room now as that punt into the end zone for a touchback. 1:14 left in this quarter as both offenses and defenses continue that feeling out process, which the defense is winning so far.
If you're a fan, if you're watching at home or you're watching in the stands, you're like, oh, this game's kind of boring. This is awesome. This is the best thing ever for me is a good defensive battle. Two teams just kind of slugging it at each other right now and just kind of picking their spots. And eventually this thing's going to blow open, I think. But right now this is the way it's supposed to be here when the weather's cold and it's November 1st. Football the way it ought to be.
From the 20, 1st down and 10. Lazenby on the carry, this time for about 3, but that's as good of a first down play as they've had. It makes them feel like they're at least even with the chains as Woods makes the tackle along with Whitert, and Roark stuck his hand in there as well. So a 3-yard run, 2nd down and 7 from the 23 as we go under a minute left in this opening quarter.
The hole was there briefly, and sometimes the success of a run between being a good 3-yard run and an 8-yard run is how long can that hole be open, and it closes pretty quickly. If you can just hold that block just a half second longer, it's going to be a 7-yard gain.
Myers on 2nd and 7. Knowlton the motion man. They'll go again to Lazenby, and Dylan Lazenby stopped at the 25-yard line. Almost spun out and rolled forward, but then that pursuit came in down from the safety spot. Brody Ark made sure he wasn't able to fall forward any further than the 2 yards that Lazenby got. So 3rd down and 5.
They're also swatting at that ball a little bit. You got to secure it. You get your backside going forward. They know they've got the stop. They start grabbing at that ball, and anything can happen.
And that looks like that's going to end the quarter. So a scoreless first quarter as both defenses winning out to this point. We'll head to the second. Spring Hill facing a 3rd down and 5 when we return here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020. When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
Back in Pittsburgh on a 3rd down and 5 coming out of the quarter break, and Myers to the air on that attempt, looking for his tight end Klutz again, but it falls incomplete, so we've got another 3 and out. That's 4 straight 3 and outs to start this game for the Spring Hill offense. But Pittsburgh, fortunately for Spring Hill, hasn't been much better. They have 1 first down. Their first series, they got a first down on their first 2 plays. Back-to-back runs by Sam Roark netted them a first down, and they haven't had another one since, as they've gone 3 and out on each of their last 3 possessions. Both teams 0 for 4 on 3rd downs as that ball is back to Greenhall. It came on a bounce, and Greenhall had to eat it as Dennis Heikes makes the tackle on the punter back at the 15-yard line. So the first big play of this game goes against the Broncos, as that's the second poor snap we've seen now on the punting team. Last bad snap was a high one that Greenhall was able to handle and get rid of, but this one took 2 hops back to him. He fielded the hops nice, but just messed the timing all up, and Heikes was right on top of him when he picked it up.
Yeah, tough break there, and you felt it coming a little bit because of the first snap you mentioned, and this is a bad place to be right now for the defense. See if they can really dig down deep.
From the 14-yard line of Spring Hill, Pittsburgh, first down and 10. Hayden, straight quarterback keep, and he's slung backwards by Carson Downs. Second time that Downs has met Hayden in the backfield as they toss him back for a loss to the 17-yard line. So a 3-yard loss on first down, and it's 2nd and 13 coming up for Pittsburgh.
Tell you what, the line of scrimmage is TBD. I have not figured out quite who's winning that battle, and that's a good thing after one quarter of play. So Spring Hill's able to keep their pace right now, and I'd say that's a stalemate, and usually the way that goes is the way the game goes so far, holding their own.
Well, they gave him the progress back to the 15-yard line as Downs was able to sling him back a few more, but they'll mark his forward progress dead at the 15, so it's a 1-yard loss and 2nd down and 11. Back under center, they'll hand it off to Monken, who doesn't get many carries, and recently hadn't had a carry since week 5, but in a big game, playoff time, Monken gets in there, and he's a little bit gimpy. You can see getting back into the huddle, and Monken took that one for about 6 yards down to the 5-yard line, so it sets up a 3rd down and 4. Oh, sorry, that's at the 10-yard line. I'm off on my angle here, but nevertheless, it is about 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
Monken, short, strong guy. He's a powerlifting guy, gets into the weight room a little bit, but battling that ankle injury, not quite as effective. They're a different team when he's healthy, and luckily for Spring Hill right now, he's just going to get that one carry for now. Another timeout.
Another timeout taken here by Pittsburgh with 10:26 left in the opening half. We'll be back right after this here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Live at Hutchinson Field in Pittsburgh tonight, opening round of the Class 4A state playoffs. Scoreless ball game with 10:26 left in the first half, but the Purple Dragons of Pittsburgh High threatening here. 3rd down and 5 from the 10-yard line. All set up by a bad snap on a punt attempt by Spring Hill. Logan Greenhall, the punter, was taken down back at the 15 where he scooped up the punt, the rolling snap back to him. So here's the big 3rd down play. Hayden rolling to his right, looking to throw. The sophomore QB throws to the end zone for L.J. Butcher, and it's a touchdown for Pittsburgh in front of Dom Shear. Butcher able to stay inside the pylon, make a nice catch for the first points of the game.
Yeah, able to keep that live, not a lot of pressure on Hayden as he was rolling to the near side. Got to get up in his face, and when that happens, it just takes so much time for everything to develop to the sideline. For a cover guy, it's hard to just cover all the way to the edge, and then he put the ball in the money, and they got it in the end zone.
So Logan Backover is the kicker who has been one of 3 kickers who have attempted extra points this year for the Purple Dragons. He's the only one who's still perfect on the year, and now he's not either. He missed it wide right.
Good broadcast.
4th down, or not 4th down, but a 4 for 5, and now for Backover as he pushed that one wide to the right. 6-0 Pittsburgh as they lead Spring Hill with 10:19 left to play in this opening half. I'm going to just leave it right here because I talked too much there, and I'm going to end up not getting back in time out of the break. I do that. But anyway, the touchdown there to Butcher. Finally, a team breaks through, but it was set up because of defense/special teams play.
Yeah, I think if you're Spring Hill, you can kind of go back and go, okay, they took advantage of our mistake, but we're still even in this game. Not on the scoreboard, perhaps, but as far as between the lines, so far they've been able to hold their own a little bit, and I think you can build on some things. Now, this may be helpful for them to get the ball out away from the goal line, not be buried. Right now, the coaches haven't had an opportunity to run their offense. I mean, they've been so backed up so much in this game. The playbook hasn't been completely there for them. You need to start maybe taking a few chances, spread the field down the field a little bit. I do think there might be some opportunities for Spring Hill down the field, speed-wise. Pittsburgh's big up front. They're physical, good linebackers. But is there a place you can kind of take your shot and get these 6 points back?
Shear and Knowlton are the return men for Spring Hill. As the Broncos trail here 6-0, 10:19 to go in the second quarter. And the kickoff from the Purple Dragons is a short one. And in the up back, Stovall catches it with Shear running into his back at the 20-yard line. Stovall back just across the 30. So certainly the best field position of the game so far. Tackle made by Andrew O'Doherty on the special teams for Pittsburgh. There is an injured player on the field for Spring Hill, unfortunately, on that kick return also.
He got ran up on from behind.
So with 10:14 left, a stoppage in play for, looks like Gage
82.
Klutz, the tight end, starting tight end for the Broncos, who is the injured player, but they've got him up on his feet, and he is gingerly walking off the field under his own power. So
I think got stepped on a little bit.
So hopefully Klutz will be able to just walk that one off a little bit and get him back in the lineup. He's their second leading receiver this year with 15 catches for 243 and time for a team high with 3 touchdown grabs. 10:14 left in this opening half. 6-0 Pittsburgh after they take advantage of a really short field. I can't just say short field because they've had short fields all night, but for the first time they actually took advantage of one and got the touchdown on a third down play, which also happened to be their first third down conversion of the game. And now the Spring Hill offense 0 for 4 on their third downs, but they've got a first down to start here on the 31-yard line. That pass into double coverage caught by Knowlton across the 40-yard line as that ball threaded through the smallest of windows by Corbin Myers.
I'm telling you what, a guy who can go across the middle, find the spot in the zone, and go up and get a ball like that that's on the money. I mean, he put some heat behind that thing. He had to get it through there and make the catch. That's big time for a sophomore.
27th catch of the year for Zach Knowlton. That one goes for 11 yards and a first down at the 42. Finally, some breathing room for the offense. As you mentioned, BJ, a chance to really run what you want to and not have that worry about what happens if something goes wrong. As there is more motion up front. This is going against the defense. Both defensive ends, Roark and Woods, jumped into the neutral zone. So take your pick, whichever one you want to call it on. Either way, it's a free 5 yards for the Broncos, and it'll make it a first down and 5 at the 47-yard line.
There's a kind of walk up outside linebackers, and they're coming. I mean, they were going to come. They were going to bring some heat from both those guys, and that's an all-out blitz in this type of defense, but they'll back them off, I think, this time. Now Spring Hill's going to spread it out.
Just under 9.5 left in the half as Myers wants to throw down the middle of the field as Knowlton went low to try to make another spectacular catch, but couldn't quite reel that one in with Brandon Petty draped on top of him. Good defense by Petty. And it'll bring up a second down and 5.
There's something there, though. They're doubling Knowlton. They doubled him with the linebacker that pulled out there in Roark and then a help over the inside. They can run a similar play like that, but go towards the sideline on your second move. There's no help on the near side. Once you make that second move, we'll see if they see that and maybe take a shot at it.
Second down and 5. Of course, they got the penalty on the first down, so even with the incomplete pass, you feel like you gained 5 yards, and now they're going to go to the ground to Dylan Lazenby. Dylan Lazenby able to stay on his feet. Tough running from the sophomore back to get the first down at the 47-yard line of Pittsburgh.
Great balance. Way to stay low to the ground, too. It's one thing to have your pads low going through the line of scrimmage, but to take that first hit and keep them to the low, to the ground, and bounce off tackles and get that extra yardage. Big first down for the Broncos.
5'8", 160-pound sophomore back who's averaged 4.9 yards per carry over the last 2 weeks. As he's been starting in place of Zayd Barker, who didn't play at all against Piper, and then came back to play a few snaps last week against Baldwin. Knowlton, the man in motion, and it's dropped by Myers. Corbin able to fall right back on top of it, and it's simply a loss of a yard is all, but that was another heart-in-your-throat moment for Jason Feeback and his staff as they saw that ball bouncing around on the turf.
Yeah, it's cold out there. It's hard to catch that ball coming at you, and also motion's coming across the way. So as a quarterback, you might allow yourself your eye to kind of side out the side to time that guy just right. It may have been end around to Knowlton, and in that case, you want to time it just right, and just took his eye off the ball.
Second down, 11 yards to go. They're in plus territory for the first time in this game, trailing 6-0 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Flag comes in at the snap as Lazenby gets it on the draw. Dylan Lazenby bursts through the right side near first down yardage. He'll be just short. Ark and Weidert made the tackle. There was a flag that was thrown at the snap, so we might have a illegal formation penalty against Spring Hill here. And that's exactly what it is. So that'll cost him 5 and takes away a 10-yard run by Lazenby and turns it into 2nd and 16.
But you're seeing some things now because you're able to open up your playbook. You're not against the wall. That seeing some plays that might work against them as this game grinds on. I hope this doesn't get away from the Broncos. Certainly it doesn't look to be here in this first half. And so you want to find those things that'll work late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter to try to get some yardage. And that last play was a good one.
7:52 and counting left in this opening half. 6-0 Pittsburgh lead. 2nd down, 16 yards to go now for Spring Hill. Myers, quick throw and looking for Letillier, who gets knocked to the ground by Hikus, but they're going to rule that one. There's no chance to catch it for Letillier as it sailed out of bounds by about 5 yards or so. So incomplete pass brings up 3rd down at 16. Not the spot that any offensive coordinator wants to have to try to find a play for here, as Nick Madeline will be tasked with that job here for Spring Hill, but 3rd and 16, never an easy conversion there.
Yeah, there's not a ton of plays you have, and really you want to try to avoid making that big mistake as well, because you start to force things in this situation. A lot of times things can go bad.
0 for 4 so far on 3rd down for Spring Hill. High snap to Myers. He gathers, throws down the seam, and he's got Shear wide open, but he can't make the catch. It twisted him around. The throw was slightly behind him as Shear had to try to adjust, but it had him in the hands, and he drops it inside the 30. That would have been a 1st down and plenty more, but instead it's 4th down and 16.
I do think the passing game is where it's at right now for Spring Hill. You've got to run the ball to keep them honest, and you've got to continue to make those plays in between the tackles just to keep things tight. But I think they can take advantage of them a little bit in the passing game. They're going to bring the house here.
The last time the punt snap was rolled back to Greenhall on a couple of hops, and it cost him big time. This one comes in a short hop to Greenhall, but he fields it cleanly and then gets away a really nice kick. Bounces at the 15-yard line, inside the 10, inside the 5, and knocking it into the end zone is Cody Powell. So that ball had a chance to be down inside the 5, and instead it's a touchback. As another missed opportunity here for Spring Hill. They've had a couple of drop passes. They had the couple of bad snaps, and now they have a chance to pin them deep and let it get away from them.
Man, it's the little things in a playoff game and on the road. It's the little things that make the difference.
So from the 20-yard line, the Pittsburgh offense, who leads 6-0, takes over with 7:16 left in the half.
Same thing defensively now. You can play your defense because you've had your back against the wall. You've had to play everything real straight up. You can maybe take a few chances here defensively for Spring Hill.
Roark goes in motion out of the backfield, and it's Donovan Nelson, the fullback, who gets the handoff. And check that, Grant Rolfs, who's the backup fullback, who takes the carry. And Rolfs out to the 20-yard line, or back to the 20, I should say. So no gain on the 1st down carry, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Still holding tight on the line of scrimmage. Defensively have the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a really good defensive game from Spring Hill. They just have been put in a lot of bad positions because of the offense's inability to move the football, and finally they did, and then they had a chance to pin him way back inside the 5. Now trying to make up for it at the 20. It's 2nd down and 10. Hayden with a pump fake. Takes the shot for McCoy, who's behind the defense to make the catch in plus territory, out of bounds, pushed out by Knowlton at the 46-yard line, but they rip off 34 on a 2nd down and 10, and they quickly flipped the field.
Yeah, the double move got Knowlton. He was able to recover and almost was in position, but he's also given up about 7 inches, and so that made a difference, maybe even 8 inches, and so that gave him McCoy an opportunity to get that ball. The ball was put on the money by Hayden. It's well executed.
9 inches, 6'5" against 5'8". That's certainly a matchup that Pittsburgh wants to take advantage of, and they tried it earlier with McCoy and threw it over his head. They sailed it higher than a 8-footer could have caught, and that time they'll hit him right on the money. Here's Munkin on the handoff, bouncing off tacklers, finally stood up and dropped for no gain on the play. And Spring Hill's trying to rip the ball out, and there comes a penalty flag after the play.
Yeah, that's going to be against Pittsburg High, 58. He's going to get called for that one. And a little after the play action.
Left guard Jesse Stover. We'll see if that's indeed what the penalty is. Munkin was dropped for no gain, and it is a personal foul against Pittsburgh. So because it came after the play, the down will count. So 2nd and 10 turns into 2nd and 25.
That's just a big mistake on their part, and Coach Nicholson not happy about it. It was blatant. I mean, there's no argument on that one. Just a little bit late.
Well, a gift for the Spring Hill defense on a 2nd and 25 now. These are the situations you got to capitalize on. Get this football back to your offense. Down only 6 points with 6:15 to go in the second quarter. McCoy, who they hit for the big play, he is one-on-one with Knowlton to the top of the screen there. And they're going to run option opposite that to the far side, the wide side. Roark off the pitch. Stumbles after Shear hit him, and then Jackson rounds on. Takes him down at about the 43-yard line. So a 4-yard run to Roark on the option brings up 3rd down and long.
It's real subtle, but Shear on that play going outside and making him come back inside. That's a big deal because your help's on the inside of you. Roark's a big back. I mean, he doesn't look necessarily looking at him on here, but he's a big, strong physical back. And for Shear giving up a little bit of weight, get out there, keep him inside of you. That way you have help to come. That's a nice play on 2nd down.
Shear not afraid to make a tackle. Not a big guy, 5'9", 140, but he averages 7 tackles per game and might not get the credit for the tackle there, but certainly set it up as you described, BJ. So here's Hayden on 3rd and long to throw. He's going down the seam into triple coverage, and it's batted away by Hunter Williard. He wanted McCoy, but there was all kinds of traffic on that play on a 3rd down and 20. So incomplete pass, 4th down and 20, and the defense gets their stop.
Yeah, they wanted to take a shot, and nothing really to lose there in that situation with 4th and 20, but other than maybe a pick. And there was only one guy out there even to catch the ball, so plenty of coverage and nice stop.
Braden Benson, who's done a fine job punting tonight for Pittsburgh. He's twice pinned the Broncos back inside the 20, once at the 2, once at the 11. And he's got a chance here with the field location to perhaps do it again. Dom Shearer is the return man for Spring Hill. Some pressure is put on as his low line drive kick bounce to the 32. Again, takes a nice Pittsburgh bounce and eventually down around the 23-yard line by Barber. So that's where the Spring Hill offense takes over. 5:05 left in the half as they continue to go back and forth here with the Purple Dragons in the opening round of this playoff game. A lot of defense early on in this one, which I know makes a guy like you enjoying watching this game. But let's see if we can get some offense here out of Spring Hill.
Well, and I think you've seen it from Spring Hill. That last drive, they had several plays that were successful. More so in a cluster than they've had the entire game beforehand. So I think they're seeing some things. Not having your back right up against the wall helps, certainly. But I think you might be able to see something blow open here. Play clock's running down now. That's a problem.
Yeah, they get out onto the field with 5 on the play clock, and they will get it snapped with 3. Option pitch to Lazenby, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Had no chance with Sam Roark out there to really, he was so far up the field in good position, he could play almost both guys right there, and the quarterback and the pitch guy, and he played it to perfection and drops him for a big loss.
Yeah, you're an old option guy. As a quarterback, you've got to run right at that guy. You've got to make him commit, not allow him to play both guys. And Corbin Myers, he didn't take that play deep enough into it. You've got to run right at that DN, make him commit to you, and then kick it. Because if he would have done that, there wasn't a lot of other help out there. If he could have got that ball pitched out there, and I think that may be what he saw. But Woods is a really good defensive player, good-looking kid, and he'll make that play every time.
2nd down and 20 after the 10-yard loss. Slant to Letillier off his fingertips and incomplete. I think we're seeing the cold weather affect some of these pass catches. Both teams have had a couple of drops, and that one off the fingertips of Letillier. It'll bring up 3rd down and 20 yards to go for Spring Hill as Myers right now just 1 out of 8 through the air, but not so much all on Myers, though he's had a couple of balls that probably should have been caught by guys, and right now they're going to have to start making some of these plays.
Yeah, that was right on the money. I mean, you got to make that catch in that situation. Right now they're a couple of catches away from being right where they need to be, and you got to make those catches.
0 for 5 on 3rd downs. This certainly won't be an easy one to convert as it's 3rd down and 20. Pressure coming from Pittsburgh. They get the throw away, and Letillier may have had a guy on his back. Dennis Hikus was the corner in coverage on Letillier as that pass missed high, incomplete, but Letillier being held down a little bit by Hikus draws the penalty flag. Now it won't, if indeed this is pass interference, which it would appear it's going to be, it won't be a first down for Spring Hill. They needed 20, so they're going to get 15 of it. It'll still be a third down, but they'll certainly rather take their chance with 3rd and 5 as opposed to what was 3rd and 20. And it is pass interference against Pittsburgh.
Well, he rode into him and kind of got his body into him. I don't know if he held him down or not, but he was riding into him as that pass was coming. And I think it made a difference on the play. I think if he doesn't do that, he's able to climb up there and get that catch. Instead, he got pushed kind of beyond where he needed to be, and that was a good call. We're obviously on the Pittsburgh side, so they disagree.
Yeah, second chance at a third down here. It's 3rd down and 5 from just across the 30-yard line. Myers wants to throw. Has good protection. That pass batted again by Monken. That's the second time that Shea Monken, who only stands 5'9" tall, but it's the second time that he has batted down a pass of Corbin Myers, and then they'll force a 4th down now with 4:07 left in the second quarter.
He's getting blocked up front, so he's kind of dropping back a little bit. I mean, he's just not getting to the quarterback, and so Monken's kind of playing in that middle ground and able to get his hand up.
Greenhall to punt. Butcher back deep for Pittsburgh. Good snap this time to Logan. End over end punt.
It's a great directional kick.
Yeah, going to take a big bounce. Butcher will pick it up at the 20-yard line. He's one-on-one with Letillier, able to shake Evan, but then Downs forces him to the sideline, and Letillier knocks him over the boundary at the 33-yard line. 3:54 left to go in the first half. A 6-0 Pittsburgh lead. That's a big possession for this Spring Hill defense now in this final 3:54. Already down a score. You would really like to come up with a stop here and keep some of that momentum that you still have despite being down. Keep it on your side, not go down 2 scores.
Yeah, and I think if you get a stop on 1st and 2nd down, you can contemplate taking a timeout as well for Spring Hill. They've got all 3 left, I believe.
Yep.
They have get the ball back a little bit of time, perhaps.
1 timeout left for Pittsburgh, 3 for Spring Hill with 3:54 left in the half. Roark on a little counter through the right side, and getting a hold of him was Wyatt Dickey to keep that from being a huge play. Stovall finishes off the tackle at the 39-yard line. They get 6, so certainly a healthy gain on 1st down, but if Roark able to get past Dickey there, he's got a lot of green space in front of him.
That's their most successful running play they've had in quite a while. And so Spring Hill's been able to hold it until that one right there.
2nd down and 4 from the 39-yard line. 3:20 left in the half. A couple of receivers both ways, and it's Barber coming in motion out of the slot right. He gets it on the jet sweep. Barber had to bounce, but he's able to turn the corner now, and he's out just shy of midfield with a 1st down run. 9 yards on the carry from Barber, and it's a 1st down and 10 at the 48-yard line. 3:09 left in the half.
And that starts with that wide receiver coming down on the down block, and that was Tyler Sutton for Pittsburgh to get the block and seal the end. And once that guy's blocked, it's not a lot of help out there.
Just shy midfield for Cooper Hayden and this Pittsburgh offense. They lead 6-0. 3:09 left in the half as Hayden throws quick, hooks up with McCoy out on the far sideline, brought down by Knowlton. Or check that, it's not McCoy. That is Benson who makes the catch. Benson tackled at the 45-yard line, a 7-yard completion, 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, so apparently this one light switch controls the entire press box. I just turned them off on everybody.
You got the power of
no kidding.
Of
They shouldn't have told me that.
You can black the whole press box out. 2nd down and 3. Roark, as Hayden rode that a long time and eventually gives to Roark, who tumbles forward right at the 1st down sticks. It looks like he's going to be just short. So 3rd down, less than a yard to go for Pittsburgh as the clock is down. About 2:15 left in the half.
He's going to run down and take a timeout, I believe.
And they will take the timeout with 2:08 left in the half.
Yeah, I thought he was going to let it run down a little bit. I guess there's still plenty of time there. He's still a ways away, I guess.
Yeah, that is their final timeout.
But, yeah, that's the last one.
So, yeah, that's their final timeout. So they probably want to keep a little bit more time on that clock. But now this will be interesting here on a 3rd down. Obviously short yardage, but you're also in that if you don't gain anything or lose just a yard, you're in possibly that 4-down territory if you're Pittsburgh. So then if you're Jason Feebank, do you go ahead and stop the clock for them and all of that? And we'll have time to debate, I guess, after this next play, because it depends on what happens on this 3rd down and 1. But certainly this is the situation now where the wheels are churning in both coaching staffs about how they're going to play this, what the play call is going to be, and you got 42 yards to still traverse if you're Pittsburgh, no timeouts. They haven't attempted a field goal yet this year with Backover, their kicker, who took over week 7. Turnbull, who kicked for him for the first 5 games of the year, he did make a 35-yard field goal earlier this year. But here comes 3rd down, less than a yard from the 42.5-yard line. Hayden under center, goes to the fullback, pulls it. Now pitch to Roark. He's got a 1st down and more from behind. Dom Shear drags him down to the 31-yard line, but it's a 12-yard gain on a 3rd and 1. And it's a new set of downs for Pittsburgh as the clock will stop momentarily while the chains move. They're going to have right at 2 minutes left in the half.
That was the conversation there. He should have done that the play before, pulled it and pitched it, and didn't, gave it, and they told him to pitch it, and it worked better.
Hayden looks to throw and makes the throw out to Benson, who makes the catch at the 23-yard line. Tackle made by Zach Knowlton. They'll get 8 yards with 1:42 left in the half. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage they go. 2nd down and 2. Hayden with a quick drop. Looks again for Benson, or rather McCoy. And that pass might have been tipped by Chase Wilm. Looked like he got a hand on there, the linebacker for Spring Hill, to maybe redirect it away from McCoy.
Yeah, that was a big play by him. He was back in that drop, and that ball was going to be on the money. It was going to be a completed pass, but he just throws that paw up there and redirects it.
3rd down again. This is a 3rd down and 2 at the 23-yard line. 2 out of 7 so far in the game on 3rd downs. They just converted that 3rd and short a moment ago with the option. Roark in the game has carried 11 times for 51 yards. He's been their most effective offensive player, and he's offset behind Hayden out of the pistol here on 3rd down and 2. Speed option to the right. Hayden keeps, rounds on, has him wrapped up, and it looks short from where the far line judge is walking in. They've already changed the down marker to 4th, and he is short just barely. So 4th down, less than a yard, coming up with just over a minute left in the half.
It was a low snap. Timing was off on it. I think he could have probably still played that through, but luckily the defense able to get there and shut it down.
Big 4th down. They'll go to the air, swing it out to Roark. Shear hits him, and then driving him down into the turf at the 20-yard line is Stovall, but he's got the 1st down by 2 yards as they move the chains with 56 seconds remaining in the half.
Real big test here for the defense. If you can go into the locker room with the pressure that's been put on them in these situations, back against the wall this entire first half, only down by 6, you're going to feel pretty good about things, and time's starting to wind down. Remember, Pittsburgh High, no more timeouts.
So from the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10, Hayden rolls to his left, throws the screen back right to Roark, who's got a couple of blockers in front of him, tight-roping the sideline. They're going to mark him out, though, inside the 10, about the 6-yard line with 37 seconds left in the half.
That's a great play call. Great play call in that situation because you know everybody's being real aggressive. You're going to throw the football and take advantage of it.
They get 14, and he's out of 15 as he's marked out at the 5-yard line. So for the moment, they save the touchdown, and now, with the way the clock is, 37 seconds, no timeouts. You can still run it certainly here on 1st down, but you may not get more than 2 plays if you try to run. Or we'll see what Tom Nicholson decides to do here on a 1st down and goal at the 5-yard line. Hayden wants to throw. Quick slant. Oh, they're going to throw the fade behind it, and it's L.J. Butcher for the 2nd time, reeling in a touchdown pass from his sophomore quarterback, Cooper Hayden.
Good coverage. Just kind of dropped it in the bucket right there in that back corner, and you may or may not got to see that. I think Butcher's fan base is right down the line where our camera is, but tough break, this situation. Man, if you're Spring Hill, you just feel like you're right in it. And just had a few things not go your way in this first half so far.
Backover on for the extra point. Missed the first one wide to the right, and this one splits the uprights. So the extra point from Backover makes it 13-0 with 32 seconds left in the half. We'll just leave it right here with only the 32 ticks remaining before we head to the Leah Smith Farmers Insurance Agency halftime show. But now down 2 scores, and Spring Hill will get the football to start the second half. That's a plus here, but now you've got to try to regroup things here, down 2 scores, and you can't let this thing start to tumble away from you. As last year they were down here, they were down 3 scores at halftime, and then all of a sudden, third quarter, they were down before they could blink, down by 34.
I think part of the conversation is when you go to the locker room, kind of look everybody in the eyes and say, we can play with this team. And you have to convince yourself or re-rack it and reconvince yourself that you can play with your team. Most players are going to believe they can no matter what, but you may have that conversation right off the bat, and then you go to X's and O's, try to figure out exactly what things worked, communicate with the guys who have been out there, what are they seeing on the field, and draw up a couple things that you think you can take advantage of and come out and do it in that first drive. That first drive is going to be so important. I think here you might take a seat and get to the house.
Buck over to kickoff, and this kick drives Shear to the 13-yard line. He'll bring it up the right hash. Dom Shear with a little bit of a window. He's across the 40-yard line, and Shear back to the 47, and now with 24 seconds and 3 timeouts.
I take it back.
You're going to take back that, take a seat on this one because that big return by Dom Shear, certainly.
Yeah, 3 timeouts as well, so you can run some stuff here over the middle of the field, down the field. And again, I said it earlier, I think the passing game right now is the strength. They've been able to get a good protection for Myers, and they've been able to get some guys in some windows down the field. So now you do try to maybe take advantage of this a little bit.
They got a good kicker in Bear Gardner if they're able to at least get that far. But, of course, they're hoping to take it all the way now, and they'll go to the air. First down, Letillier makes the catch, inside move to get inside the 40. Drugged down to the 35-yard line by Matt Smith with 17 seconds left. And Jason Feeback, I would guess, will take a timeout here. No, they're going to
stop the clock.
Run
now
the clock.
They'll wind it.
Yeah, but now they're losing a lot of time with 3 timeouts. And now they'll take one with 11. It's just with 3 timeouts, only 17 seconds. I mean, you're not going to get a chance to use all. You're not going to run out of them.
Yeah, that's 7 seconds. 7 seconds that cost them right there. The ball got set and placed, and the clock wound at 17. If you call that as soon as the end of the play is done, you save yourself 7 seconds. Now you've got 2 plays basically to get it into the end zone. I think in this situation, best case scenario.
Yeah, definitely no more than 2, and perhaps only 1 if you got a slow finger on the score clock on the road here. I mean, I'm just by the time you throw the ball, you're going to have to throw it nearly 40 yards down the field and let the guys get down there and whatnot. I mean, they are going to put a couple of seconds back, so they put the clock to 13 now. So that does help a little bit, but you still lost 4 seconds potentially, and now you still have 2 timeouts, so you can still call a timeout after every play.
Worst case scenario, I can turn the lights off on the guy keeping the clock down there.
All right, from the 35-yard line here, they got 17 on that last pass play to Letillier. Sheer motions out of the backfield.
Nobody out there. There's a miss, but 32 is going to be open.
And Myers wanted that way. The ball is hit, and it's loose ball. No, they're going to say incomplete pass. Myers got hit from behind by Roark. And initially, I couldn't really tell whether they were going to rule it fumble, incomplete pass, but they did rule it incomplete pass with 9 seconds left now in the half.
Yeah, the White Hat pretty emphatic about his incomplete pass call, so he must have felt pretty confident. That's big because it stops the clock. Obviously, it's big because it wasn't a fumble going the other direction, but
touchdown the other way.
It was an incomplete pass that stops the clock. They had a mismatch and they were slow to get over there, but Spring Hill was could have had a really good play down the field with Shearer, who was going to be open in the slot on the far side.
Well, now 9 seconds. Do you try to get a little chunk to set up a Gardner kick, or do you take that whole time to go to the end zone? Myers goes for that quick one to Letillier. Makes the catch, has time, and he gets down at the 18-yard line with 2 seconds and a timeout as Jason Feeback is out inside the numbers to get that timeout, showing that sprinter speed over there from Coach Feeback as Letillier with his second catch of this drive down to the 17. He had 17 on his first catch. He gets 18 on that catch. And it will give him a chance now to bring Bear Gardner in here and try to come away with 3 points before the end of the half.
I think it's huge to be able to take advantage of the long kickoff return and then get down the field with some chunks. Again, I still think you're seeing some things in the passing game. These guys are great coaching staff with Spring Hill that they're going to communicate here in a little bit. And I think they'll find some things pretty quickly that they can take advantage of against this Pittsburg High secondary and hopefully come out and get it. But, boy, if you can get 3 points right here, a little bit of momentum too that go a long way. That might be as valuable as the points at this point is getting some momentum going in the locker room.
So Gardner, who's hit 3 field goals this year, he's 3 for 7. He has makes from 26 twice and from 31. This would be his longest make of the season, as it's going to be a 34-yard attempt from the right hash.
Wind at his back a little bit.
Yep, slight breeze is at the back of Gardner, and they're going to reset the play clock. That's the whistles you hear there. So with 2 seconds left in the half, this will be the end of the half, barring any defensive penalties, as Gardner will try to put Spring Hill on the board from 34 yards out. Corbin Myers, the holder. Good snap back to Myers, and Gardner swings the right leg through it and splits the uprights with plenty of distance to give. So he puts the Broncos on the board, a 34-yard field goal from Bear Gardner. As time expires on the first half, it is 13-3. Pittsburgh leads Spring Hill in this 8-9 matchup in the opening round of the Class 4A playoffs. Stay with us as we've got the halftime show coming up next, brought to you by Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance. 10-point Pittsburgh lead on top of Spring Hill at the half on Spring Hill Sports Live. Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking, and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome into the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show from Hutchinson Field in Pittsburgh tonight. 13-3, our halftime score. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons with the 10-point lead on top of the Spring Hill Broncos. Both teams 4-4 entering play tonight in this opening round playoff game. And the Purple Dragons, the 8th seed, and the Broncos, the 9 seed, based off of point differential for the season. That's why the Dragons are the 8 seed and Spring Hill right behind them at the 9 seed. So that's why the Broncos had to go on the road tonight. A good matchup. We thought this one was going to be a back-and-forth, competitive, close ball game, and we certainly have that still at 13-3. Pittsburgh able to take advantage of a couple of breaks that went their way. A bad snap on a punt set them up with a very short field that set up their first touchdown. They took over on the 15-yard line of Spring Hill early in the second quarter after we were scoreless through the first half. This is the White Cell Optometry Vision Source Eye on the Game. Keep an eye on your child's screen time. If they're experiencing eye strain or headaches, it might be a good time for an exam. Make an appointment with White Cell Optometry Vision Source by calling 913-592-2020. And be sure to ask about the 2020 rule. That first short field set up the first points of the game when L.J. Butcher caught a 2-yard pass from Cooper Hayden. The extra point kick was pushed wide to the right, so it's 6-0 at that point, Pittsburgh. And then the Purple Dragons were able to strike again late in the first half after taking over around the 35-yard line. They hit a big pass down the sideline to Hayden McCoy, the biggest play for either team in the first half offensively, a 34-yard pass to McCoy. That set up a scoring opportunity for them, which they would later capitalize on another pass to L.J. Butcher, this time from 5 yards out, made it 13-0 after the Backover extra point was successful. And it looked like that 13-0 score would be what we would see at halftime with only 32 seconds remaining in the half after that touchdown pass, the second one to Butcher. But then Dom Shear with a huge kick return took it out to the 47-yard line and gave Spring Hill an opportunity to get into scoring position, and that they would do as they found Evan Letelier twice, first time for 17, second time for 18 yards. That took it down around the 20-yard line and just inside the 20-yard line, actually, out of the 17, which set up an opportunity to bring out their senior kicker, Bear Gardner, and he split the uprights perfectly from 34 yards out to make it 13-3 here at the half. That's your White Cell Optometry Eye on the Game. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with more here on the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance Halftime Show with a look at all the first half stats in this ball game. 13-3 Pittsburgh leads Spring Hill at halftime in the first round of the Class 4A state playoffs.
Whitesell Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Whitesell Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Whitesell and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Whitesell Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
13-3 our score at halftime. Pittsburgh leading Spring Hill in this opening round Class 4A state playoff game. At the halftime show brought to you by Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance. Leah Smith has over 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri. To learn more, call 913-221-0755. Just up the street at 159th and Merlin, Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos. 13-3 our halftime score as we take a look at tonight's numbers. Pittsburgh with 152 yards of offense in this game, 69 on the ground and 83 through the air. For Spring Hill, 51 yards of offense only in that first half, and 35 of that came on the final possession in that final 30 seconds. But they have 46 yards through the air and just 5 yards on the ground. Of course, that accounts for the yardage they've lost on a couple of plays as well, a couple of big losses in the ground game. But nevertheless, it's been a bit of a tough go offensively for Spring Hill to this point, but they're still right in this game, down just 13-3. Taking a look at some of the individual numbers now. Through the air, Corbin Myers for Spring Hill, 3 out of 11 for 46 yards. He has had a couple of drops by the receiving corps that have hurt him numbers-wise. If they can catch a few of those balls here in this second half, as BJ's been talking about, they have found some openings in that secondary of the Pittsburgh defense. So they're going to have some chances, I think, to make some big plays in this second half with that passing attack. But just 3 out of 11 in the first half for Myers. 2 of those completions went to Evan Letelier for 35 yards. Those both came on that final series there. The other reception was made by Zach Knowlton for 11 yards. On the ground, it's been a tough go there. Zayd Barker's lone carry went for 6 yards, and he's their leading rusher right now. Dylan Lazenby has been held to just 3 yards on 6 carries. Zach Knowlton has 1 yard on 2 carries, and Corbin Myers' lone carry went for a 5-yard loss. for Pittsburgh through the air. Cooper Hayden, he started a little slow like Myers, but then picked it up, and he's now 7 out of 12 for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hayden started this game just 2 out of 5, but he has since gone 5 out of 6 through the air and has the 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns went to L.J. Butcher. He only has 15 yards on his 2 catches. One went for 5 yards and one went for 10 yards, but made them both count. 2 touchdowns on those 2 grabs for Butcher. Hayden McCoy has the biggest play of the first half for either team. He had a 34-yard reception. 2 catches for Braden Benson for 15 yards. 2 catches for Sam Roark for 19 yards. And on the ground, Roark leads the way for the Purple Dragons, 51 yards on 11 carries. Caden Barber has 16 yards on 2 carries. Shea Munkin with 5 yards on 2 carries. Cooper Hayden has lost 3 yards on 3 carries, and Grant Rolfe's 1 carry went for no gain. So those are your first half numbers here. It's 13-3 at halftime. Pittsburgh with the lead on top of Spring Hill. We're back with more of the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back inside the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show tonight from Pittsburgh. It is 13-3, the Pittsburgh Dragons with the lead on top of the Spring Hill Broncos. Both these teams looking to move on to the next round where likely Tonganoxie awaits, the number 1 seed on the east side of the 4A playoffs. They were up 35-0 earlier tonight on Baldwin in the second quarter of that game, so it looks like the Chieftains well on their way to moving on and keeping their undefeated record intact, and that's who the winner of this game will meet up with next week in the second round of this 4A playoff race. For Spring Hill, it's just their 5th time, or they're looking for just their 5th ever postseason victory tonight. It's their 11th time in the playoffs. Last year in 2018, of course, they made the playoffs, but now everybody technically makes the playoffs, with the Week 9 game becoming the first playoff game. Prior to last year, they hadn't been to the postseason since 2014. Overall, just 4-10 in the postseason, with their last win coming in 2013 over Ottawa. So they're hoping to pick up that first win since 2013 in the playoffs, and just their 5th ever postseason victory. For Pittsburgh, they have gone to the playoffs now 6 consecutive years, 34 total playoff appearances now for the Purple Dragons, which is tied for 4th most all-time in the state all classes. Silver Lake with the most at 37, Garden Plain second, along with Lawrence High, each with 35. And then you've got Pitt Colgan, Wichita Capone, and Pittsburgh, who have all gone 34 times. And overall, they're right at 500, 30-30 overall postseason record for the Pittsburgh High Purple Dragons, and they've got a 10-point lead at the half in this one. A few other scores from across the 4A postseason tonight. Paola, they're up big on Ottawa, so it looks like the Panthers are going to cruise on into the next round. They are 42-3 up on Ottawa in that one, so blowout in that first-round game. Looks like Basel-Linwood leads Piper at halftime 30-18. That's a halftime score there as Piper is trailing Basel-Linwood. And let's see what else we can find here with some 4A postseason scores for you. Fort Scott up 14-0 on Chanute at halftime. That's a surprising one. Chanute is 7-1. Fort Scott is 1-7, and Fort Scott leads it 14-0 at halftime on the road over Chanute. So perhaps a big upset brewing in that ball game. What else do we have here? That's about all the 4A scores I'm seeing for you here. As we're at the half, 13-3. Our score. Here's another one for you. No surprise. Bishop Miege in the second quarter against Levant County, 48-0. Miege with the lead in that ball game. I mentioned that Tonganoxie score for you, 35-0. Tonganoxie on top of Baldwin. So anyway, there's a few of the scores from across the state playoffs here on opening night of postseason play for most of some played last night, some of the schools, but for most, especially in the 5A, or rather the 4A ranks tonight, opening night of that playoff race. And we've got a good one here in Pittsburg tonight. The home team, Pittsburg Dragons, the 8th seed, they've got the lead at half, 13-3 on top of the Spring Hill Broncos. But it will be Bronco football to start the second half. So a chance to come out and make some noise early in this half, get this back to a one-score game. We'll see if the Broncos can do just that. You've been watching the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. Second half is next here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back live to Hutchinson Field in Pittsburg tonight, where we are getting set to start the second half of this ball game, opening round playoff game in the Class 4A state playoffs, and it is a 13-3 Pittsburg lead on top of the Spring Hill Broncos. Broncos will get the football to start this second half. A chance to tell you as well about what the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce has going on. Tickets are on sale right now for the 2019 Awards Dinner. It's scheduled for Tuesday, November 12th. So it's coming up. Get tickets at springhillks.org. And while you're there, check out information on Leadership Spring Hill, a comprehensive leadership and civic development program starting January 2020. They're now accepting applications. There's a look at the Broncos. We get set to start this second half. Caden Carbajo on the camera again tonight, doing an excellent job with the shots you're seeing, and he's outside braving the cold. We have a tiny, tiny little press box that's completely glass enclosed. So Mr. Carbajo, unfortunately for him, he's got to brave the cold, but doing an excellent job out there tonight with the camera as B.J. Harris and myself, Bryce Kessler, bring you this action live from Pittsburgh tonight in this 4A playoff opening round ball game. So let's see if they can get something on special teams again. Dom Shear had that big return which set up that field goal drive for the Broncos to close out the half. A little momentum for Spring Hill heading into that locker room after finding themselves down 13-0 prior to it. So now down 13-3, and it'll be Knowlton and Shear that'll head back deep to return this opening kick to start half number 2. 0 for 6 in the first half on third downs was this Spring Hill offense, and again, just 51 yards total offense for Spring Hill, with 35 of that coming on those 2 pass completions to Evan Letillier to set up that field goal as time expired in the half. So chance to hopefully get something rolling here in half number 2. Backover's got it teed up for the Purple Dragons, and we'll get the half underway. Down 10 to start the half. Last year they were down 21 when they started the half here in Pittsburgh in their opening round playoff game, and the Purple Dragons took control early in that third quarter to run away with it. A little pooch kick. They're not going to give Shearer a chance to return this second half kick. It's fielded by the up guy Stovall for Spring Hill, and all right, that's Dickey who fielded that one, the other middle linebacker, and he takes it to the 39-yard line. So still good field position, even though they took it away from Shear. Didn't give him a chance. They'll still set up Spring Hill with good field position to start the second half down 10.
Yeah, I still think it's a really good opportunity for Spring Hill. You need to start this second half strong. Take advantage of that passing game that I think is going to be open a little bit. And, boy, like clockwork, I walk out, crowd, this is kind of a boring game. I'm like, this is a darn good game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's been a fun game to this point. Both teams playing hard and playing very competitive game so far, as Lazenby on a little counter action gets it up the middle, and there's the most successful running play they've had all night, as Dylan Lazenby had 3 yards on 6 carries in the first half, and he picks up 9 on his first total of the second half.
Really well-designed play, a little misdirection in the backfield, and get everything going one way, bring your running back against the grain, and well blocked up front. Really nice job getting moving the line of scrimmage, and this is where you might take a shot.
Second down and 1, a yard shy of midfield. Myers from the shotgun gives to Lazenby, bounces outside right, has a first down as he's tripped up and dropped at the 45-yard line by Grant Rolfs. And an injured player for the Purple Dragons is Donovan Nelson, their starting outside linebacker, limps off the field. He'll be replaced by Braden Benson. But it's a first down and 10 for Spring Hill on the 45 of Pittsburgh. 2 really successful running plays to start the second half as Lazenby picks up 9 and then 6. So now first down in plus territory. Just underway in the second half, trailing 13-3.
Watch the play clock.
Play clock down to 5 as Myers takes the snap, goes to Lazenby for a third straight time, but that time Aaron Woods says 2 times okay, but the third time I'm not letting it happen, and he went right through Tanner Thompson, the right tackle, and blows it up in the backfield.
Yeah, Tanner Thompson, 5'11", 195, got all he wanted of Aaron Woods at 6'3", 215. That was a miss. He won the first 2, but third time, not going to win that one.
2-yard loss makes it second down and 12 from the 47-yard line. It's the opening drive of the second half for Spring Hill. Remember, they got the field goal as time expired in the second quarter, and now a timeout has to be used by Spring Hill as they had 12 guys in the huddle, and to avoid the timeout, Jason Feeback has to burn a timeout.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just throw the flag anyways. I don't know if you can break the huddle with those.
Well, and maybe they didn't, and maybe they did have the 11, they just didn't have the right personnel, but Knowlton ran out of the huddle and sprinted off the sideline, so I assumed I didn't count the guys, because you're right. I mean, typically that would just – you break a huddle with 12, they're going to throw the flag before you have a chance to take a timeout. So maybe they just didn't have the proper personnel, or Jason Feeback just felt like they weren't organized enough for that play. But unfortunately, you have to burn a timeout a minute and 52 seconds into the second half.
I tell you what, temperature dropped pretty dramatically out there when that sun went down. I was walking around out there. It's cold. And so some of those drop passes in the first half, a little bit understandable, I think. And it's chilly.
Well, homeboy out here to our left sitting outside in a tank top and shorts. I'm not even making that up. As Myers is dropped, got back to the line of scrimmage, but Whitert and Woods again in there to make sure that didn't break free for anything. He might have actually gained a yard, but nevertheless, it's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd and 11 coming up for Spring Hill.
The tank tops and shorts is inexplicable.
No.
And he doesn't even look cold. His
he's
arms are
cold.
crazy. He's kind of got that knee go. I'm freezing.
He is freezing his you-know-what's off, and he's just apparently too tough to admit it because there's no way you can't be just either that or he's numb. He's got a numb body.
That's one of those. He left the house, and Mom said, "You need a coat," and he didn't take it. And she's like, "I'm not going back to get it now. Now he's just going to have to tough it out."
3 receivers left, and Myers throws that way. Cameron Crutchett makes the catch, and it's a 1st down on 3rd and 11. He goes to a sophomore backup tight end, Cameron Crutchett, for his 4th catch of the season only, and they pick up 14 to move the chains.
Big catch, really good throw from Myers. That's across the field to the backside hash, and took advantage, I think, of a miscommunication defensively. I can hear the coaches next door to us from Pittsburg High that we're not in the right coverage, and Spring Hill makes them pay.
Big 3rd down conversion, the first 3rd down conversion of the game for Spring Hill. They were 0 for 6 prior to that, and now they've got it at the 32-yard line. Another counter play to Lazenby. He's able to burst underneath of a tackle attempt and take it down to about the 26-yard line. So another 5 or 6 yards on 1st down for Lazenby. They'll mark it at the 27, a 5-yard run officially, and it's 2nd down and 5 for Spring Hill.
Well, I tell you what, he runs behind his pads really well. For a young guy to be able to get low, I said that early in the ball game, but to stay behind your pads, keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and just keep working forward, bouncing off guys. Really nice run on 1st down.
8:19 left in the 3rd quarter, opening drive of the 2nd half. Nearly 4 minutes old now for the Broncos. Toss outside right for Lazenby. A flag is thrown on the play. Woods tracks Lazenby down and makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and a shoe was lost on the play by one of the Pittsburgh defenders. But yeah, there was a penalty flag thrown by the head official right at the snap at the point of contact there. So this one more than likely coming back, and it is. It's a hold against Spring Hill. Just the 2nd penalty against the Broncos, so they've certainly been good in that department, but this one will cost them 10 and make it a 2nd and about 15 with 8 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
Some adversity you got to overcome. So far in this ball game, Spring Hill's had some opportunities. Some of those drop passes we mentioned, and weren't able to overcome them. But then that last drive, in order to get 3 points, I think it give you a little bit of "I think I can" as you come into the 2nd half. And now, just on 2nd down and long, you got to take advantage, or you got to overcome it a little bit.
2nd and 16 as they need the 23 for a 1st down. Deep shot for Letillier, and it's incomplete. Dennis Hikus, the cover man there for Pittsburgh, as Letillier just ran out of room along the boundary. So 3rd down and 16 coming up. And they are not in range for Gardner from here. He's got a big leg, but 54 on a cold night into the wind, not that big.
I tell you what, the kick he did have before half, though, that was good from another 15 yards. I think he got a hold of it, and not quite this far. This is certainly 2-down territory at this point. You don't have to get all 16 right here.
Exactly. So let's see what happens here. 3rd and 16 at the 38-yard line. Myers with the snap. Good job holding up against the blitz, and it's Gage Klutz, his tight end, who makes the catch for another big 3rd down conversion down to the 6-yard line. Myers to Klutz. Those two guys hooked up 3 times for touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season. It's been a bit quiet since, but that's a big one as Klutz takes it all the way down to the 7-yard line for a 31-yard completion.
I tell you what, that was a picture-perfect hookup. Great pass on the money from Myers, and then Klutz with those hands straight up in front of you, make the diamond, put that ball there, catch it in traffic. That ball was thrown between guys. He kept his attention on the ball, made the catch, big time. Got to take advantage of it here for the Broncos.
From the 7, 1st down and goal. Zayd Barker comes into the game, and they'll toss it to Knowlton on the jet sweep. Got away from Whiter, stays on his feet, down to the 5-yard line. Heck of a run by Knowlton for a gain of all of 2 yards, but that could have easily gone for about a loss of 7, and Knowlton made it into a gain of 2.
I think 8 of the 11 guys on the field touched him at some point in that, and he's still going to get a couple of yards. That's just wiry in Knowlton, but that was well scouted by Pittsburg High. They had the guy where they needed to. They saw him go in motion. I think they were in the right spot, just couldn't make the play, and Knowlton made him pay.
So now 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line as the Broncos looking to use this opening possession of the 2nd half to draw back within a possession. They've had it 5.5 minutes now, and they'll look to end it here on a 2nd and goal to the 5. Lazenby gets it, bounces out left. It's a foot race now, and Lazenby is twisted into the end zone for a Spring Hill touchdown. Donovan Nelson wrapped him up prior to the goal line, but able to still twist his way in the grasp of Nelson for the 5-yard touchdown of the 2nd of the season for Dylan Lazenby.
Again, Lazenby, I think, showing his kind of knack for things. As a young guy, his instinct, normally a young guy, is to keep going to the pylon, keep going to the edge. He doesn't. He finally gets to where he needs to and then just buries his way towards the goal line. If he tries to go to the pylon, he's not going to get there.
Extra point kick from Gardner is good, just inside the left upright. 13-10, Pittsburgh leads Spring Hill, but the Broncos back within 3, 6:15 to go here in the 3rd on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
13-10 our score with 6:15 left to play in the 3rd quarter. A nearly 6-minute opening drive to start the 2nd half that Spring Hill took 61 yards down the field and capped it off on a 5-yard touchdown run from Dylan Lazenby. A couple of huge 3rd down conversions on that drive. A 14-yard completion to Cameron Crotchett on a 3rd and 11, and a 31-yard completion to Gage Klutz on a 3rd and 16 that set up the score from Lazenby as the flags, 2 of them, come flying in on the return here from Barber, who took it back near the 27-yard line. But let's check the laundry on the field. A huge start to the 2nd half for Spring Hill. They needed the points. They got the points. And now can the defense come up with a stop? We'll see. They might be helped out field position-wise with these penalties. It's a hold against Pittsburgh. So they're going to mark it off from, let's see. I don't know that they.
It's from the 26, right?
It looked like they back to 16.
16, yeah.
So they'll mark it. The 16 is where they're going to take over now. So that helps, certainly, if you're Spring Hill. 5th penalty for 50 yards in this game against the Dragons. First down, it's Roark on the pitch. Shoves his blocker through Dom Shear and falls out to the 20-yard line. And leading the way through the hole for him right there was, I don't know if that was Nelson or might have been Rolfs who was leading the way through there, but Roark just put a hand on his back, and if you're not getting out of the way, you're going down with me.
Yep. The ugly world of a offensive lineman or a fullback.
So a 4-yard run on first down for Roark. Hayden gives it to the fullback this time, and right into the heart of that defensive line goes Donovan Nelson. And they're going to mark the 25-yard line. Another 5 yards will be just short, I think, of the first down. They're actually going to be about the 26, so this is going to be close, and they are going to give them a first down.
It's just across that 26 line. They got a pretty favorable spot.
Yeah.
And lucky, Hayden did not want to give that ball. He wanted to pull it, and if he probably had an even bigger play. But the fullback clamped down on it and didn't want to let go.
So Nelson moves the chains from the 26-yard line now. It's first down and 10. All 11 guys attached on the line of scrimmage here for Pittsburgh, and they'll just run power behind it with Sam Roark. And Roark is piled under at about the 33-yard line. Logan Greenhall on the bottom of that pile for Spring Hill defensively, but a big gain on first down. Didn't look like a whole lot there, but he ends up out to the 33-yard line and picks up a 7-yard chunk on first down.
Well, that line of scrimmage in the first half, we talked about how it was kind of a stalemate. Pittsburgh took advantage of a short field, and they had one real true drive, and now Spring Hill's had one true drive.
Second down and 3. Triple option to the right side. Rolfs, the fullback, gets it, and he's at the 35-yard line, a yard short of a first down. Downs, Stovall.
Stovall, great tackle. He just got low, wrapped him up. I mean, he doesn't have much of a choice to stay low, kind of undersized there, but comes in, makes a nice tackle, wraps up, and drives through it to kind of stop that momentum. Some really good tackling today by everybody.
You weren't with us earlier this year when Coach described the offensive formation when he brings his two middle linebackers, Stovall and Dickey, on offense. He calls it the Smurf package when those two embark because they're all under 5'8" in the backfield. Here's a row arc toss again as Pittsburgh has come out here with a message to start this second half. They're going to ground and pound this Spring Hill defense. It's been a lot of row arc and a couple of fullback carries, and that one from row arc out to the 41 for another 6 and another first down.
Yeah, trying to shorten things up a little bit. Certainly didn't end the way they wanted for Pittsburgh High that first half, and so now they're going to try to have some dominance. Spring Hill's done a nice job in this ball game up front and trying to limit the running game. I was surprised, actually, when you said 11 carries for 51 yards earlier by Row Ark. I didn't feel like he'd had that many, but he certainly was getting a pretty good average there, but it didn't seem like it, and that's okay.
He has just one carry over 7 yards in this game, so they've kept him contained from the big play, and this time they'll stop him for just a yard or two as Downs and Greenhall, again, team up to make the stop there on Row Ark, but he's been efficient with his touches. 15 carries, 70 yards, 4.7 per carry.
Greenhall does a great job defensively with his discipline of shedding a block but not giving up a lot of ground and staying in the hole. So he doesn't have to cover a lot of ground because he's where the ball is going to be as long as you don't let a guy drive you off. And he's just got that low center of gravity. He's obviously a very strong young man and able to anchor himself down there.
Under 3 to go here in the third quarter. Pittsburgh faces second down and 8. Throw caught by McCoy, but he had to go down to the turf to make the catch, so nothing after the catch. And just across the 48-yard line for another 6 yards. Second grab for Hayden McCoy. He had the big 34-yarder, which is still the biggest play offensively, the longest play offensively in this game for the Purple Dragons, and for that matter, for both teams. So third down and 3 from the 48. Big play here for this Purple Dragon offense, which is 2 for 8 on third downs, and now they're going to have to get 5 more as there was motion on the left side of that offensive line. It looked like the tight end Woods, who kind of sprung forward prior to the snap.
Yeah, that's one of those mistakes you just don't see really from a senior tight end, and Woods has been playing on this team for years. I mean, he's been a part of it just with his physicality and his athleticism, and that's just a big mistake on his part. It looked like somebody from Spring Hill almost jumped off as well, but offensive guy gets the blame. Big third down.
Under 2 to go in the third. Now third down and 8 for Pittsburgh. Hayden looks to go to the air, throwing off his back foot is underthrown and bobbled up into the air, nearly picked off. Shear had the better chance at it, but Butcher kind of turned into the defensive back, and it ends up falling incomplete, but that was a golden opportunity to make a big play for this Spring Hill defense. They'll certainly take the stop. And now it's fourth down, but that had a chance to be more.
Yeah, but you get the ball back. You got the stop defensively. They took a lot of time off the clock with that running game that they came out with after their penalty and backed them up. But you're going to get decent field position. You should. And you're going to get the ball here.
Braden Benson, he has been excellent tonight with that right foot on the punts. This one, though, returnable for Shear, who fielded at the 26. Now Dom Shear picking his way through defenders to the 35-yard line. And it's about an 8-yard return only from Shear. Had a chance to be more, I thought, when he made that first guy miss. But a good job by the coverage team there, Pittsburgh, making sure to corral him for not much more. And they'll start at the 36.
Offensively, they had a nice mix. And it kind of started up front, running the football. Their first play of the second half was a big hitter, one of their best running plays, if not their best running play of the game. A little counter action in the backfield. They ran that twice on that drive. I would be real surprised if we don't see it again here because it's been successful both times.
Lazenby had 29 yards on the ground on that last drive, which was the first of the second half after having just 3 yards in the first half on the ground. And it's the sophomore Lazenby who gets the first down carry to the 39 for 3. Taken down by Munkin.
He's this close to popping one. He breaks one tackle. That was a linebacker safety that made that play, and he's close to popping one here.
Second down, 7 yards to go with 1:15 left in the third quarter. A third quarter that just quickly evaporated the clock with a nearly 6-minute drive by Spring Hill, and then almost solely on the ground from Pittsburgh. They shed another 4.5 off the clock. So we are in the waning moments of the third as the snap comes to Myers, and another counter look for Lazenby. A flag has been thrown, though. Lazenby is across midfield, but this one likely coming back.
Oh, it's a great play call into the blitz to get him coming and pick it up and not let it blow it up, and then probably a holding penalty. No, chop block.
Chop block. So that will erase an 11-yard run by Dylan Lazenby. Now, last time they had the football, they had a holding penalty that put them back behind the chains and looked like it could end the drive. And then that's when Myers found Klutz for 31 yards on a 3rd down and long. So, again, they're going to be back to about that second. And this one's actually going to mark it from about 3 yards or so behind where the line of scrimmage was. So this will be even a little bit more costly as it goes all the way back inside the 25-yard line.
And sometimes in that counter action where everything comes one way and then it's going back the other way, oftentimes that chop block will come because two guys are engaged and a guy gets caught up underneath him. But, that's a killer for Spring Hill at this situation right now.
2nd and 23 now from their own 23-yard line. Myers looks to throw, nobody home. The intended receiver was Crotchet, but Crotchet was running up the field, and Myers was thinking he was going to sit down and hitch up about the 30, and it falls incomplete over on the Pittsburgh sideline. So now 3rd down and 23 with 39 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
I think you give the benefit of the doubt to the senior quarterback over the sophomore wide receiver in that situation who made the mistake. But you got to end this quarter strong here. Boy, this would be big pickup if they can get it. That's a long way.
It is a long, long way. They're on the 23. They need to get this ball out to the 46-yard line to convert. Myers to go to the air. And he'll find his man Crotchet at the 35-yard line, reaching out the football to get 2 extra yards to the 37, and they're going to end up still 9 yards short. They pick up 14, and at least to help out on the punt yardage, if anything else.
No, I think it's a small thing, but I think it's a big deal to pick that up and give yourself a little bit of room and maybe not have such poor field position off of this. But it's important for Greenhall to get a good boot off of this one.
Greenhall has had an experience back there punting tonight with the snaps. This one, though, is good. And Greenhall able to swing the right leg into it and angles it out of bounds around the 33 or 4-yard line. They're going to actually keep walking it up there. And, wow, that ball didn't land that far out of bounds, it didn't look like. It
landed on the white.
And they mark it about 7 yards further up the field from where it actually landed. Of course, it was out of bounds where it landed, so it wasn't going to be right there at the 33. But nevertheless, that was and I think Jason Feeback, who's standing right there with the officials, he's kind of thinking the same thing, like, wait a second here.
Flip the quarter.
So that ends the 3rd quarter, and it's 13-10. Pittsburgh leads Spring Hill here in the first round of the Class 4A playoffs on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit ElliottInsuranceGroup.com.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to Hutchinson Field in Pittsburgh as we head into the 4th quarter here tonight and a good ball game. 13-10, Pittsburgh the lead on top of Spring Hill, and that toss play is blown up by Zach Knowlton in the backfield. He came flying up from his corner spot to take Barber down in the backfield. A loss of a yard back to the 39-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 11 coming up for Pittsburgh.
We've talked a ton about his offensive prowess and a good target for him in the passing game, but defensively, I've been very impressed with his ability to be a factor on the edge and keep kind of things contained and then come up and make a play like that huge to start this 4th quarter.
A guy that didn't start the season as a factor at all defensively, didn't play on the defensive side of the ball, but because of some injuries in their secondary, he was kind of forced into action, and then all all he did was have the team's first interception of the season and added another interception last week. He's got 2 picks on the year, and he has become a big-time player in only his sophomore season. Hayden with an off-balance throw as Shear undercut that pass and looking for an interception. L.J. Butcher again had to kind of turn offense to defense to keep Shear from coming up with the pick, and it'll be 3rd down and 11.
You just don't see it in high school, so it's not something you can get really worked up about necessarily, but think about it. If the shoe's on the other foot and that's the defender jumping over the head of the offensive player and hitting him like that, that's a pass interference. They're going to throw that flag if the shoe's on the other foot. And instead, they just let the offensive guy just run right through the defender who's in perfect position to make a play. I think that's a missed call on the officiating crew because that's one they would have called if it was on the away.
Yeah, really, at every level, those offensive guys, when they turn defensive, they get a lot more leeway than, like you said, if the shoe's out the other foot. So now 3rd down and 11. Hayden wants to go screen to the backside, and running into the receiver, knocking him down early was Wilm. Barber was the guy who was looking for that one on the screen, and Wilm had it read all the way, perhaps a little bit early getting there to him, but they're going to get away with it. Good play by Wilm.
So things have a way of working out.
Yep.
So the universe oftentimes has a way of balancing itself, and it just did it because that should have been pass interference on that screen pass. But just like offensive pass interference often isn't called, a lot of times on a screen pass, you can get away with some stuff. It's funny how those 2 plays happen right there back to back. And now Coach Nicholson wants to use a timeout perhaps here to discuss some things and maybe chew on an official a little bit.
Yeah, probably more of the latter there with 10:59 left in the ballgame, 13-10 Pittsburgh with the lead, but they're facing a 4th down and 11, so they're going to have to send the punting team out onto the field here and a chance for Spring Hill to get the football back down just a field goal.
I'll tell you right now, if you'd have told Jason Feeback yesterday, under 11 to play in the game, you're down by 3 on the road at Pittsburgh, and you've got the momentum, he'd say, let's start right there. We'll just play from that point. Wherever you just described, I'll pick it up right there down by 3 and getting the ball back certainly at this point. They battled their way back in this game, and they could have easily let things fold over whenever things weren't going their way in that first half, and they had a short field and gave up the first touchdown, and then Pittsburgh High went down and drove on them. But they come back, and I still go back to that last drive, the big return and getting a field goal just enough to get you going and then come out and score. Now they need to take this one to take the lead.
Benson set to punt on a 4th and 11. Angles it away from Shear. It bounces behind Powell and thankfully took a hop away from Powell. That had a dangerous situation written all over it, and another really good punt from Braden Benson. He's done an excellent job, the Purple Dragons punter, not only keeping it away from Shear, but pinning him inside the 20. This is now the 3rd time he's put the ball inside the 20-yard line on a punt, and he had a touchback earlier as well, so that's 4 times now he's made him start 20 or deeper. This will be at the 18-yard line. 10:48 to go. 13-10. Pittsburgh the lead, but Spring Hill set to take over again offensively. And you mentioned momentum. It's certainly on the side of the Broncos at this point. But can they capitalize, go down and tie this game up, or take the lead on this drive? Klutz, the tight end, just off the tackle on the right side. May have been motion up front, but nothing happens. And there's Lazenby on the carry. And Dylan Lazenby out to the 22-yard line before he's stopped by Donovan Nelson. About a 4-yard first down carry for Lazenby, and it's 2nd down and 5, they'll call it, if they gave him 5.
Boy, some of those situations you wish you went in with 2 plays, a pass and a run, because if they could have switched to a pass, they had just a mismatch again, just not lined up in the right spot defensively for Pittsburgh High. And if you could check to a pass, you were going to have an open look down the field. That's risky, but boy.
From the 23 now, 2nd down and 5 yards to go for Spring Hill. Lazenby flanks Myers to his left. They throw to the slot man, Knowlton. Zach Knowlton able to slip inside as he's out to the 40 and drug out of bounds by Ark along the far sideline. Big play and a 1st down for Spring Hill.
Well-designed play, nicely executed. You clear things out with your wide out and then slide Knowlton in between there, and then he does the rest once he catches that ball. That's a tough pass to make. You're an old quarterback from the near side hash to the far side numbers to put that where it needs to be and keep the momentum going up the field. Tough to make, but nicely done by Corbin Myers.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Hit your receiver. Just if you're just sitting there playing catch, it's not a hard throw. But when your receiver's running away from you and angling up the field to hit him in stride like he did, that is not the easiest of throws as Dylan Lazenby busts up another big run across midfield to the 48-yard line of Pittsburgh. A 12-yard scamper by Lazenby, his longest run of the night, and it's another first down for Spring Hill.
Broncos just keep chopping wood, just chipping away a little bit at a time. That's a big play there. Just a simple that they got taking advantage of the crossbuck action in the backfield. That's a little. It's a nice fundamental play, but it's a little gimmicky. That's just straight toss. Let's go at you, and to get that yardage on that play and get into their territory, big time.
After 17 to Knowlton, they get 12 from Lazenby. They're in the plus territory with 9.5 to go. Down a field goal. Knowlton in motion. He gets it on a jet sweep. Lazenby leading him around the corner. Knowlton turns the corner, and he's down inside the 35. It's another first down for Spring Hill. 3 straight plays. They've converted first downs, and they've got it at the 33 with 9:18 to go after another 15-yard play from Knowlton.
I'll tell you what, if Pittsburgh High hadn't called timeout on that punt, had to call that timeout, they'd call one right now. They need to figure something out because right now the Broncos have their number defensively. Pittsburgh High seems out of sorts a little bit, lining up, like hustling to get in certain positions. And right now, all the momentum in favor of the Broncos.
From the 33 of Pittsburgh, first down and 10. There's motion on the lines. They're going to keep playing on, though. No whistles. They snap it. Lazenby gets it, and he is this time shut down for a couple of yards at most. Whiter on the tackle along with Nelson. And it's Nelson who emerges from the pile with the football, but the play whistled down at the 32-yard line. It's a 1-yard run from Lazenby, so second down and 9.
To go back to it, but Lazenby, he only got a yard there, but that little slide, that little shift when he gets the line of scrimmage, you're able to just kind of step to the side and find that hole. It's just not quite where it needs to be, but he'll make it where it needs to be with that shift.
8:40 and counting left here in the fourth. Myers gives it to Barker on a draw play, and Zayd Barker diving down near the 25-yard line at the 26 for another 6 yards. He's only carried twice in this game. Both of them have gone for 6 yards, and that one makes him a very manageable third down now. A third down and 3 for Spring Hill with 8:20 left here in the fourth, down by 3.
Zayd kind of claps his hands when he gets up. He knows if he was able to keep his feet, he kind of hopped forward there at the end. If he keeps his feet, he's going to have a big play, maybe even going to the house with it. Just one more guy. Couldn't quite get by him, but still a good gain on second.
2 for 9 in the game on third downs, but they're 2 for 3 here in the second half on third down. So they've got momentum. They've got a third down and 3 here. Lazenby gets it as they string it out left. He's got the first. Stays on his feet as he spins out of the Nelson tackle down to the 14-yard line. Another nice run by the sophomore Dylan Lazenby. 12 more yards on a 3rd and 3, and they're into the red zone with a first down and 10.
I mean, they've got Pittsburgh High's defense off balance. It's sometimes you've got a team off balance. It's another thing when you can see it. It's obvious that they just don't quite know. I mean, just a minute ago when they ran that draw play, you hear the coaches next door draw like they didn't know it was coming at all. It just surprised them, and it wasn't a big one, but it set up a nice play there to pick up a first down.
From the 14, Knowlton goes in motion behind Myers. They fake the toss to him and come back underneath with Lazenby. They've burned him a couple of times on that counter action. This time, though, Roark was there to stay home to make the tackle along with Aaron Woods. And that one goes for a loss of a couple back to the 16.
I'll tell you what, one to look at here is that post to Klutz. That was a nice-looking play earlier in the third quarter, and it could work right here perhaps. It's a great place for it.
Klutz has 2 grabs, or 1 grab, that 31-yarder. He's had at least 1 in every game this season. He's just behind the left tackle here on a second down and 12. It's Lazenby again, able to make a couple of guys miss. There is a penalty flag as he's down to the 9-yard line. He's checked down by Rolfs. A flag came in after he broke through a couple of tackles. It's a 7-yard run as it stands, but it is a face mask against Pittsburgh. A 5-yard face mask against the Purple Dragons, and they're at the 10-yard line is where they've got it marked, so that should take it right down to the 5, which means they're going to be about a half-yard short of a first down, it looks like. It's not a personal foul face mask, just the incidental face mask.
Second down.
So they get the down and they get the yardage. It turns out to be a very beneficial play for Spring Hill. So they get that down back to be second down, but now they need only a yard from the 5-yard line. 6.5 to play in the ball game. Myers gives it to Lazenby, but he's blown up in the backfield. Aaron Woods, he's made a couple of big plays, the defensive end for Pittsburgh, and that is another one. A 4-yard loss on 2nd and 1 will bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was a tough play. Woods had been building up for that one, I think. He was a little frustrated a couple of times on this drive, and that time I think he took a little of that frustration out.
So they converted 3 of their 4 third downs. They do have an excellent senior kicker in Bear Gardner. They're certainly well within his range from here, and down only a field goal. They've got that option if they're failing here on a 3rd down, but it's 3rd down and 5 from the 9. Myers to throw. It's Klutz, the tight end, crossing over the middle, and he's in for a touchdown. Quick strike to the tight end, Gage Klutz, and he hauls in his 4th touchdown of the season on his 2nd grab tonight. And the Broncos, from down 13-0, have taken the lead with 5:36 left in the 4th quarter.
That's a play call you can make with a senior quarterback because he rides it in there with Barker going the opposite direction. Everybody's eyes went with Barker, and the quarterback sold it, and then to come back and pop it real quick to get it in there.
Extra point from Gardner is good, and it's 17-13 Broncos with 5:36 to play here in the 4th on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Once down 2 touchdowns, the Spring Hill Broncos now lead by 4. 17 unanswered points from Spring Hill after they trailed 13-0 with 32 seconds left in the first half. And the latest, a 9-yard touchdown reception from the tight end Gage Klutz, his 4th receiving touchdown of the season, puts the Broncos on top. And Gardner sends the kick through the back of the end zone. 5:36 to play in the 4th. Spring Hill 17, Pittsburgh 13, and the Purple Dragons have been shut down here in the second half offensively by this Spring Hill defense, and now they've got to try to answer the bell as they trail for the first time in this game.
They've been shut down except for one drive. They've really only had one decent-looking drive against this defense, has Pittsburgh High. The other touchdown they got, remember, was on that short field.
Yep.
And so this defense just needs to hold maybe one more time, possibly twice.
From the 20, 1st down and 10, they'll toss to Roark off the right side. Grabbed at the ankles and pushed backwards. Roark gets just a few yards on that 1st down play. A good job there. Hunter Williard, that's a safety coming down and making that tackle. It's a 4-yard gain, but Williard flying in from his safety spot to get the ankles of Roark and take him down.
Just the best way to describe this defense is sound. They're not flashy. They don't have any real big heavy hitters that are going to come in there. They just all do their job.
2nd down and 6. Going to throw here on 2nd down as Hayden finds McCoy. And McCoy got twisted up a little bit on that tackle. Cody Powell making the stop along with Chase Wilm at the 31-yard line. It's going to be a 1st down. They get 7 on a 2nd and 6. So 1st and 10 at the 31 for Pittsburgh.
And Coach Nicholson's thinking this is our last drive. He wants to take up the time, go down and score right before the clock runs out. That's what he's hoping to do on this drive, a 5-minute drive.
This is Roark. And Roark, not a lot there that time. Carson Downs, along with Jackson, rounds on. Aaron Dominic helping out on that stop as well. It's a 3-yard gain after the 34-yard line.
Talking with Coach Nicholson about Spring Hill's DNs, Downs and Dominic, and they're not real big guys. I was talking about there's nobody fat, flashy. They just kind of do their job. They'll just get your hands on them. They're so long, you can't, even though they're a little light, you can't get your hands on them. You can't block them because they're so long.
4 minutes left of the ball game. Play fake this time to Roark. Hayden is in trouble, steps up in the pocket, and then he's cut down by Dickey. And that'll be a loss of about a yard, a sack officially for Dickey on the 1 yard loss. And it'll be third down, and 7 yards to go here for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Cooper Hayden showing his youth there as a sophomore quarterback because it did break down around him, but then it reestablished. And you know, a more experienced quarterback, Corbin Myers, maybe steps up in that a little bit, resets things, and has a chance to look down the field. He just kind of panicked from the beginning and bailed.
3rd down and 7. Snap to Hayden. Wants the fade for McCoy, and they use that big 6'5 frame of Hayden McCoy to go up and get it for a first down over top of Powell. 19 yards on that completion is McCoy using all of his 6'5 frame. That's a tough matchup for Powell.
Well, Powell played it pretty well. He kind of spun his head around there and saw the eyes of McCoy get bigger, and so he went in there to go swat it away. Just a really nice play by McCoy to go up and fight for that one.
3 minutes now left in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh driving down 4. Option give to Roark. To the 45-yard line. Give him a couple on that play. Logan Greenhall making the tackle. He'll mark it at the 44 for a 3-yard run there by Roark, who has just been steady and solid tonight with a 4.4 yard per carry average. Only has 1 carry over 7 yards in this game, but he's up to 80 yards total on the ground now. 2nd down and 7, 2.5 to play. As Pittsburgh in no hurry. You're right, BJ. They're just trying to use all 5 minutes of when they took over on this possession. It's Roark again, driven back by Dickey, but the forward progress will take it down about the 42 for another 3 yards or so.
8 guys at the ball. When that ball went down, there was 8 Broncos around the football, 6 of them engaged in that tackle, I think.
After the 2-yard run, it's going to be 3rd down and 5, and a timeout has been taken by Pittsburgh, their first charge timeout of the second half. So they'll have 2 remaining with still 2:20 to play. And the leg of Bear Gardner once again tonight playing an impact for Spring Hill. He's hit both of his extra points in that field goal. Pittsburgh missed an extra point earlier, so it's a 4-point margin, not 3, which takes obviously any thought of a field goal attempt out of the equation. They need to get this all the way to the end zone for Pittsburgh High with 2:20 to go, 42 yards away from that goal line.
I just haven't seen anybody from Pittsburgh High, of course I could jinx it here, but they can kind of stretch the field. They had a guy, Dylan White, a year ago for Pittsburgh High, who was one of the fastest guys in the state, and he could get down the field and stretch things out for you. Pittsburgh High hasn't proven that they have a guy who can kind of run down and get behind coverage. McCoy's been their best target offensively, but it's throwing the football, but they'd still like to try to get it on the ground, I think. Only 1 timeout left, though.
3rd down and 5. From the 42, Cooper Hayden to throw. Immediate pressure by Roundzon. Forces him to step up, and he's brought down for a loss back at the 43-yard line. A second sack in the game from Carson Downs. That was Jackson Roundzon, though, who really set up the sack by the quick pressure coming off the offensive left edge right there.
Yeah, good play call defensively to bring that pressure from there, and I don't think Pittsburgh High had any plans for that. And again, Cooper Hayden steps up, and he might have been able to set up again, but just things broke down too fast.
And now it's 4th down and 5. Hayden, a design rolled out to his left, throws, and it is batted away by Zach Knowlton. Benson was the intended receiver, and Zach Knowlton able to cut underneath of it, get a hand on the pass to knock it down, and turns it over on downs with 1:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Spring Hill with a 4-point lead will take over possession on their own 42-yard line.
I tell you what, a first down will do it here. That was a big break on the ball by Knowlton. A gutsy break because if he can't get there and that ball gets caught, it's a touchdown. There's no help behind him on that. He's going to have some room to grow there to get down the field, but that was a gutsy play by Knowlton. He has played a superb game offensively and defensively, and now a first down about do it.
So from the 42, they're trying to run the clock out now. Dylan Lazen beyond the carry, driven down by Whitert at the 46-yard line for 4 yards. And Nicholson is out there wanting a timeout. Lost a couple of seconds before they grant him the timeout. So 1:34 left after that 4-yard run on first down from Lazenby, who's been a workhorse again tonight. He's carried 20 times for 64 yards, but 67 of the 61 of the 64 have come in the second half of this ball game.
I tell you what, you look at Spring Hill, and obviously a lot of kudos to go around here if they can finish this thing off. But your stars of the game might be 2 sophomores.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing for Spring Hill. Obviously, Corbin Myers has done his job as that senior quarterback to come out and lead the way. But those 2 guys, Knowlton and Lazenby, have come out and been huge tonight for them. And then the defense in just general, they've been up front, just held their own tonight. Against, Pittsburg High, probably them and Chanute. And last I heard, Chanute was losing to Fort Scott.
Yeah, that was a surprising one.
Pittsburg High is the best team in Southeast Kansas. They're the best football team in Southeast Kansas. You can go all the way to almost to Wichita, over to Wichita, and up to the metro, to the north. And so Spring Hill is going to come down here, hopefully, and make their stamp here for the Frontier League.
They added 2 seconds back to the clock, so 1:36 remains now in the fourth quarter. This is Zayd Barker as the senior comes in for his 3rd carry of the game. He's their starting running back. Last year, a guy that ran for almost 900 yards and had 630 yards on the ground before the ankle injury has really limited his availability these last couple of weeks. But they're going to go to the senior for some ball security on these last couple of runs, and that one actually lost a yard. But the clock will continue to run. In fact, no timeouts now remaining for Pittsburgh. I had it backwards earlier. I had it as 2 and 1 the opposite way. So they had just the 1 timeout remaining starting this defensive series, and, of course, they used that on the last play.
Spring Hill will let this run down. They'll call timeout right before the delay game, and this thing's going to go well under a minute, under 50 seconds, in fact, by the time it's done.
Yeah, so 47 now. Of course, the play clock is 40. So you've got to really, regardless of what you run here, if you just take 2 or 3 seconds, even if it's just a quick tackle you right away, you're going to get down there to only a couple of seconds left where really on a 4th down play you can do the old snap it back to guy, run around for 2 seconds and just kill it at that point. So
yeah, that's where the conversation has to be had, because if there's a minute and a half here, you may think about throwing on 3rd down and long right here to try to pick up that first down instead of just eating it and punting it back away. You don't want to do that. But now with what you just described, 47 seconds left, yeah, I mean, it's going to be just seconds by the time they line up to punt this thing away.
Well, and really, your best option here may be to snap it, just kind of sit in the backfield, run backwards a couple of yards, and go down. Because really, you're going to have 40 seconds of the play clock. So that means on 2 snaps, you need to take 7 seconds off. You can take 3.5 seconds on each snap, and this game's over. So we'll see what happens here on 3rd down and 7. Snap to Myers. They give to Lazenby, and Dylan Lazenby picks up another 3 or 4. Play clock has not started yet. The game clock is now underneath 40. Play clock still hasn't started.
Oh, man.
So this one's going to be over now. Now the play clock has started at 36. The game clock is 4 seconds shy of the play clock, so this one's over.
That's reverse home cooking.
Yeah, that play clock probably started a little late. Of course, Spring Hill not going to complain, and they don't have to snap it again.
It may have been 1 second. Actually, when I looked up, there was 41 seconds, and that's about the play was dead, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
right.
I'll tell you what, this is crazy. I mean, this is a big win. And I guess I just kind of got good timing because I was game 1 against Lewisburg. I thought that was a program-defining win. I tell you what, for Coach Feedback and Spring Hill to come on the road down here at Pittsburgh and get this win like this, that's big time for them to go to 5-4 now and then to come in here into this place, the history, the tradition of Pittsburgh High School. I mean, that is a big-time win for Coach Feedback in this 2019 version of the Broncos.
5th ever playoff victory for the Spring Hill High School football team, their first postseason win since 2013. And they will move on to face Tonganoxie in the second round of the 4A state playoffs as they win it on the road tonight, 17-13. Spring Hill over Pittsburgh to move on in the Class 4A playoffs. And for the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons, they'll drop to 4-5, finishing a season under 500 for the first time since 2009. And it's a 4th straight loss now for the Purple Dragons. They hadn't had 4 straight L's since 1975. And this is a huge win tonight for the Spring Hill Broncos. 17-13, your final. The Broncos are moving on in the Class 4A state playoffs. Coming up next, the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show. You've been watching Spring Hill High School football, but stay with us. Plenty more to come on the post-game show right after this.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. When it comes to helping people with their finances, a cookie-cutter approach doesn't work. That's why you need Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial in Spring Hill. Kim knows that everyone's different. She'll listen to you and discuss your hopes and dreams, allowing you to focus on what's important. At Kim Thompson Financial, they focus on protecting your family, saving for retirement, living in retirement, financial strategy, saving for education, and your small business. To learn more, visit Kim Thompson Prudential Financial at the corner of Victory and Webster in Spring Hill, or call 913-592-5573.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome inside the Shoemaker Collision post-game show here on Spring Hill Sports Live. A big night on the gridiron for the Broncos. A 17-13 victory on the road tonight to open up the Class 4A state playoffs. And the Broncos are moving on for a rematch with Tonganoxie in the second round of the postseason. That'll be next Friday night. But for this moment anyway, these guys enjoying the first playoff victory since 2013 for Spring Hill High School and just the fifth ever postseason win for the Broncos. The postgame show brought to you by Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center. They work with all insurance companies and can get you back on the road in no time. To learn more, visit them online at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095. We'll chat with Jason Feeback, the Broncos head coach, here on the postgame show as soon as the on-field celebration is over for the Broncos. A chilly night on the road in Pittsburgh where their season ended this time a year ago. They lost 37-15 here in Pittsburgh. A rematch here in the opening round in 2019. And Jason Feeback said it was probably the best week of practice that they've had all year. And yeah, coaches say that a lot. They always think that this week's the best, but he really said that this week the guys came focused. They really felt like they had a great shot to come down here and play a solid ball game and pick up a victory. And they did just that. They had to battle through some early adversity in this game. In fact, found themselves down 13-0 with just a half minute to go in the first half. But a big return by Dom Shear set up an opportunity to go down and get a Bear Gardner field goal as time expired in the first half. How big was that? Well, it really turned the momentum heading into the second half. And the Broncos came out and scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the second half to close within 3. That one came on a 5-yard Dylan Lazenby run. They would get the ball back then in the fourth quarter and drive down the field once more before finally capping it off on a 9-yard touchdown pass from Corbin Myers to Gage Klutz with 5:36 to go to put them on top for the first time at 17-13. And then the defense needing one more stop on a 3rd down and 5, a pass that was almost an all or nothing. It was make the play, you get the ball back, game's likely over in a positive way. You miss it if you're Zach Knowlton, and it might be going down the sideline for a touchdown ending the game in the other fashion. But Knowlton didn't miss it. He got the hand on the pass, knocked it down incomplete on a 3rd down, but it was on a 4th down play that turned it over on downs back to Spring Hill, and they were able to run the clock out in the final minute to win the ball game. 17-13, our final here tonight, as the Broncos improve to 5-4 and move on in the 4A state playoffs. More coming up right after this. We'll check the final stats and talk with Coach Feedback, all coming up on the Shoemaker Collision post-game show.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsuranceGroup.com.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local farmer's insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back into the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Coach Feeback is making his way up to the booth with a whole entourage of players as well. So you might have an extra treat coming up here on the post-game show. I'm not sure what we've all got coming up here, but they're all headed up here to the booth as they win this one tonight, 17-13. The Broncos move on here in the 4A state playoffs with a road victory over the 8-seed Pittsburg Dragons.
Hey, if they're coming up here to mess with us, you protect me. That's how this goes down.
I don't know that that's going to happen, but we're getting them all up here tonight. The whole senior class is going to join us apparently on the post-game show up here on a final 17-13 win tonight. All right. Hey, good job tonight, Jackson. Good job, buddy. So they're all coming up here to thank us for the broadcast tonight. And excellent work by these fellas. I don't know why they're congratulating us, because they're the ones who deserve the congratulations on a big victory here tonight on the road to keep their season moving forward, as they will take on the Tonganoxie Chieftains next Friday night in the second round of the postseason. But a big victory here tonight in Pittsburgh. We're going to get Jason Feeback here in a moment. He'll join us on this post-game show as this senior group of Broncos picking up the 5th ever postseason victory for this program. And they certainly have a proud and happy head coach, Jason Feeback, who is now with us here on the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show. And, Coach, that was real cool. All your seniors came up here and congratulating or thanking us for the broadcast tonight. But I want to thank them for putting on a great show tonight and a great performance for this victory.
I was thinking about what would a win look like, and I said I want all the seniors to come up and be on Spring Hill Sports Live. And that was my vision of what it would look like. And, these guys came and played their hearts out, down 13-3 at half, had a gutsy drive and field goal with 2 seconds left. And then the second half, I just thought we came out and dominated, and offensively, defensively, and we were able to put some drives together and get some things going. But, I thought it was just guts, and it was kind of one of those Debo Swinney, bring your own guts kind of thing with our guys. But, it was awesome.
How big was the return by Shear, then getting that field goal there late in that first half? How big was that to set up what then transpired in the second half?
It's funny. I told you we do situational stuff. And on Thursday, we started with the ball on the 40. We had 2 timeouts, 30 seconds on the clock. And we went down and executed and were able to kick the field goal. It was almost exactly like what we did yesterday. It was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. So, yeah.
Well, then you get the football to start the second half and drive it down there, take nearly a half of the third quarter, a 5-minute, 50-some second drive, cap off with a touchdown. So you really parlayed that into a great start in the second half, and the offense really clicked, almost 200 yards in the second half after being pretty much shut down. And granted, there was a lot of poor field position they had to battle with in the first half, but what clicked for you guys in the second half to really get things rolling the way you did?
I thought Corbin got a lot more comfortable in the pocket, and I think Lazenby kind of got a grip. I think we kind of wore 'em out. I thought we became the more physical team in the second half. I kind of saw the tide turning when our defense just kept pounding, and to me it looked like they were backing down a little bit. And then we were able to just kind of mix up some good passes with some runs, and Lazenby popped a few good runs off the edge. But Corbin was able to stand in the pocket. He took some shots too. Stood in the pocket and hit the open guys.
Your defense in that first half, they were always set up with a short field. I mean, every time Pittsburgh took over, it felt like they were getting closer and closer to the goal line and only gave up really one touchdown drive. I mean, they had the drop snap of the punt, which basically gifted them their first touchdown. Yeah. And other than that, they only had one drive they actually put together. That defense with poor field position, defensively poor field position all night long was up to the task almost every time.
Yeah, and that's just a credit to our guys. And, Coach Winkler does a good job of scheming and all that. But it comes down to our guys just going and playing with everything they got. And our thing tonight was break the glass and get rid of that glass ceiling that seems to be on Spring Hill football, and let's just break through it and be what we want to be. And I thought our guys really just came out and were determined coming out of the locker room for the second half and just dominated. So I couldn't be more proud of our effort as a coach and the character our guys showed and the no quit attitude.
Well, you've got Corbin Myers standing here up in the broadcast booth with us as well, your senior quarterback. Yep. So I'm going to let you go ahead and move that headset over to Corbin, and we're going to get some thoughts from your senior quarterback here on the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show. Corbin, congratulations on a big victory for you and the guys here tonight. This was certainly a defensive battle through the first half, but then you and the offense got things rolling in the second half. When did it feel like to you things kind of clicked and you thought, here we go?
I'm with Coach Feeback. I think in the second half, we were the more dominant team. They got tired. I think they looked us over. We didn't have much success on the offensive side of the ball in the first half, and they just were like, all right, we're going to come out here and we're going to shut them down like we did in the first half and get an easy W.
This senior season of yours probably hasn't gone as scripted when you talk about having to miss some games and coming back and having some of these underclassmen that have really stepped up. What does it mean for you to go through what you've had to go through to get to this game, this playoff game, to come out here with your guys and get this victory?
I've thought it's not about me. I I could throw 6 interceptions, and at least I got to play football with my friends. I love every single one of these guys, and at the beginning of the game, I told them I didn't have a fear of losing. I had a fear of losing them. This is the best team I've ever played for in my 10 years of playing football, and I would take a bullet for every single one of these guys. And it just thinking of not being able to come out on a Monday morning, seeing coach feedback, seeing the guys, it drove me to get better in the second half than what I did in the first half.
Well, for another week, you get to go back to work with these guys. I want to talk about what ultimately is the game-winning touchdown play. You can tell me if I'm wrong here. It looked like it was kind of one of those run-pass option little reads. You stuck it in there to Lazenby. You had Klutz coming opposite side of what the run action was going to. Talk me through your mindset and what you were seeing and what you were processing on that play that ultimately was the game-winning touchdown pass.
Well, Coach Madeline does a good job working those types of plays in practice. We sit those reads at least 3 or 4 times a practice, and I just trusted what I saw. Backer came up, pulled the ball, and just put a dart on Klutz, and it was his job from there, and he had a good catch and run, and we sealed the game.
The 2 big clutch catches for Klutz. That's always a kind of a tongue twister there, but he had the big 31-yarder to set up the other touchdown on a third down. You hit Cameron Crotchett earlier on a play on a third down on that same drive. You got a lot of underclassmen that you're throwing the ball to. Klutz not one of those, but Crotchett underclassmen, Knowlton an underclassman, Mitchell an underclassman. You had Lazenby in the backfield with you tonight mostly as a sophomore. To lead those guys and to mentor those guys and see how they've come along this season, what have you seen from the growth of those underclassmen in particular?
I've just seen a growth in mentality. They had the skills coming in the season. That's why they started. But you could tell first 4 or 5 games they were scared. And as a sophomore, I started 1 game, and I could tell you I was scared out of my mind. And the growth they've had from week 1 to now week 9, it's impeccable. And I think they're going to have incredible seasons the next 1 to 2 years they have left.
Well, and we're going to hope for some more incredible performances to finish out this season, because it's certainly not over yet as you guys pick up a big victory tonight. So, Corbin, appreciate you coming up here and chatting with us on the postgame. Congratulations, my man, and go get Tonka next week.
Thank you.
All right, that's Corbin Myers, senior quarterback for the Spring Hill Broncos. And, Coach, that's an incredible young man right there. That's a very well-spoken young man who you can see the poise just to talk with him here while he's a great leader for this football team. You got a lot of guys like him on that roster.
We do, and that's what makes it special. You know, these guys have just bought in. Corbin hadn't missed a workout in 4 years. I mean, you can see how invested he is in the program, and it's not about him. It's never about him. It's always about everybody else. So those are what makes a team special that we get to coach.
Coach, congratulations on a big win. I know you know who you're seeing with Tonganoxie as far as you're obviously familiar, another Frontier League foe. Yep. So you played them once this year. You've played them in past years. You know what you're getting into, and I know you guys are going to put together a great game plan to go up there and try to get them here in part 2, the second time you see them this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At least we know how they're going to play. So we got them scouted already.
Absolutely, Coach. Yep. Hey, have a good week of work, and we'll see you next Friday in Tonganoxie.
Thanks a lot.
Jason Feeback, head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos, as they pick up a big victory tonight here in the opening round of the postseason. They defeat the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons 17-13. The final score tonight is Spring Hill 224 yards of offense to Pittsburgh's 222 in this game. And individual numbers, we run these down here real quick to wrap up the post-game show. Myers, 8 of 16, 131 yards in the touchdown. That went to Klutz, who had 2 grabs for 40 yards. Zach Knowlton, 2 catches, 28 yards. Cameron Crotchett, 2 for 28. And Evan Letillier, 2 for 35. On the ground, Dylan Lazenby, workhorse role tonight, 21 carries, 68 yards and a touchdown. Zayd Barker, 3 carries for 11. Knowlton, 4 carries for 18. On the Pittsburgh side, Cooper Hayden, 10 of 19 through the air for 115 and 2 touchdowns. They both went to L.J. Butcher, whose 2 catches went for 15. Hayden McCoy, 4 grabs for 66 yards. Braden Benson, 2 for 15. And Sam Roark caught 2 passes for 19. Roark added 82 on the ground on 19 carries. Caden Barber had 15 yards on 3 carries in this one. But Spring Hill really shut them down in the second half. They end up with 222 yards of offense after having 145 at halftime. So a really, really good second half. They overcome a 13-point deficit to win this one on the road tonight and move on. BJ, that was a great performance by those Broncos.
It was huge to be able to bounce back the way they did. And like I said, things weren't going well. Down 13 on the road. cold. It's, you're in the playoffs. You're in week number 9. Your body starts to hurt and everything. It's real easy just to turn it in. Maybe, you know what, let's go on to basketball season, wrestling, debate, whatever you're going to do. And they didn't do that. And I go back to that long return on the kickoff. I thought maybe they'd take an ego in. Nope, they don't. They go down and get a field goal. That was huge. And then to come back in the second half, and that's a good testament to the coaches to have the wherewithal to bring their guys together, come out with the second half, make adjustments at halftime. We did not see that counterplay at all in the first half. We see it a ton in the second half. That was an adjustment by the coaching staff to go to a play they knew they had in the playbook and they thought could work. And so that's all awesome. And you said the stats, and there's a win. I've been doing this for 18 years. It's my 18th year of broadcasting. I have never had that happen where an entire class of kids come up here and say thank you. That's the darndest thing I've ever seen. I get a little bit emotional thinking about it. That's what I talked about. We talked about this on the way down. I think I mentioned early in the broadcast about how Tom Nicholson, Jason Feeback, I know we talked about it on the way down, they're doing it for the right reason. They wanted to win. Each one wanted to win, and they want to keep playing football and all that stuff. But they're trying to make good men, good humans, and turn them out into the world. And having them do stuff like that and listen to Corbin talk a little bit, you can tell they're doing it.
Yep.
And all the things in this world, that's the thing sports can do. I'm biased on football. Football can do. That was pretty cool.
It was really cool, and he's got a great group of young men who happen to be able to play some football as well.
It works out.
They win it tonight, 17-13. Spring Hill moving on with their 5th ever postseason victory as they win this one on the road tonight, 17-13. And the 9 seed, 5-4 Spring Hill Broncos, who have won now 3 straight ball games, will head to Tonganoxie next week to take on the 9-0 number 1 overall seed in the East, Tonganoxie Chieftains, in the second round of the postseason. You've been watching the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live. Next Friday night, it's the second round, Spring Hill and Tonky, right back here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Once more, your final score tonight, Spring Hill 17, Pittsburg 13. For BJ Harris and Caden Carbajo, I'm Bryce Kessler as we say good night from Hutchinson Field in Pittsburg.
It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
He's in the slot again to the right. Myers gets the snap. Standing tall in the pocket, going to take the shot down the seam. Klutz is there for a touchdown. Spring Hill. Barker up the middle. Nice jump cut out to the right behind his center, Denver Gardner, who had the middle linebacker tied up. And Barker is in for a 9-yard touchdown.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5.